Nuts. You thought?
What's going on, guys? It's the king of content back with another live show, and I am in the building. And we are going to have a good time. Guys, we got a lot of funny stuff to go over. We got a lot of stuff in general. It's going to be a good show today. I'm glad you guys are showing up. I got a few topics from a very crazy topic I want to start off with. Something I was thinking about over the weekend. My wife and I, we always have these conversations. And I was just like, it's really crazy. And so I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I want to talk about Xbox having $70 games. Whoa. I also want to go over your recommendation for shows. And I also want to go over your favorite restaurants. So I got a bunch of things I want to go over because people actually gave me these topics to go over. But yeah, guys, you know me. I'm the king of content, a.k.a. I'm the cowboy. Guys, I can't raise my arm. I actually started a new gym, and I actually hurt myself yesterday. If you watch my video, I start off by saying, oh, you don't go hard, and you start off slow, so you don't be too sore, you hurt yourself. Well, I'm super sore, and I hurt myself, so you got to watch the video. It is what it is, but, oh, man, so the issue is, it's my right shoulder, so I have to go like this. And so all day, it was hard for me to move my arm. So if I had a sling, it would be perfect. But yeah, so anyway, thanks for you guys showing up. I can't raise my arm higher than this. As soon as I get here, I feel like a pinch right in here. So what I'm thinking is I pulled a muscle, probably got a micro tear. When I was in the hot tub yesterday, it felt good. I was actually able to move it. Today, I can't move it at all. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be good in about 3 days because, oh, let me do it this way. Because I'm the cowboy. Oh, man. I have to do it on this side. But, guys, I will be just fine, okay? But anyway, with that being said, guys, we're going to start the show off. I'm going to grab a chair. I hope you grab a chair. Just know that if you go to my playlist, that's where you'll actually see all the magic happening. You'll see all the different content I do. It's pretty cool, from movie reviews, the product reviews, the gaming, to eating food. Guys, this channel, and the reason why I'm considered the king of content is because I do it all. That's right. Everything's on here. So with that being said, I would like to go first to the chat. Say what's up to everybody. We got Mr. Urban World is in the building first. Let's go. He said, who's going to be in a better shape in 2023? You or me? Probably me. He said, should I use my PS5 or gaming laptop first on Christmas? It depends on what game you want to play the most, right? Let me see. Should I buy a mic for my PS5? No, actually the PS5 has a built-in microphone, so you really don't need one. And it's gonna come with one of these in the package, but they actually got the two headset ones. Here it goes. It's gonna come with this, so you're gonna actually be good. So you don't buy a microphone, you're gonna have this. Actually, I started using this. So this is what I use when I stream now. So you'll be good. All right, let's see. Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm skipping. Should we exchange games for Christmas? Definitely not you and me. Thoughts on me and Snoop Dogg 2023? I didn't know you knew him. Are you in the Christmas spirit? I'm getting better this year. JD said $70 games. Hey, JD, we're going to talk about it, bro. But let's give JD a shout. Let me see. He's laughing. And Mr. Urban said, number 7, will JD3 play us with the PSVR 2? Well, you know JD is definitely getting it. See, there you go. Yes, so he definitely will be playing. LOL, just got my PS5, and I'm saving it for Christmas, JD. But PSVR 2 is day 1 for me. Like I said, if Mr. Urban World get it, then I'll get it. All right? Let's see. You are better than me, Mr. Urban World. I couldn't wait. Yeah, I can't believe he's waiting for Christmas. Last time I had a console for Christmas was the N64. Yeah, it would have been a while for Maker Chaos is in the building. He said, rest in peace, Xbox. I'm going to say this, though. It's not looking good for Xbox. I remember this generation, everybody was like they're the most consumer friendly. But I think money is a legit thing, and they put themselves in a box. So we're going to talk all about it. Let me see. Obi Rose in the building, so don't listen to him. Buy a mic, trust me. I mean, this thing is pretty good. So if you want to spend extra money, go ahead. Let's see. Yo, Legend is in the building. Oh, man, you guys must be showing up for this Xbox salt we about to put in the wound. Let me see. I said I'm a big kid. Yeah, man, waiting for Christmas is crazy. Going live on $70 topics. Yeah, hey, you got to talk about it, bro. You got to talk about it. Yo, Holtz is in the building. All right. Say good evening. Sanchez is in the building. So, yo, Mr. Urban Rolling Cowboy. Okay, Cherry Man is in the building. All right. So, what up, Cowboy? What up, chat? JD said, nah, I want every Xbox fan to keep that same energy. Bro, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Of course they call put themselves in a box. Ain't that the point of a console? Ha ha. Yo, Chloe Diz is in the building. Let's go. Chloe, I can't wait to go to your holiday party. All right, it's going to be lit. This is going to be good. Yeah, it's about to get crazy. All right. So with that being said, guys, I like to go through everything. There's 2 things I like to say before the show gets started. Matter of fact, there's going to be 3. I might have to bring Chucky back for this. But number 1 is this show is going to be epic. Because I'm a cowboy. Oh, man. And number 2, guys, hear me out. I like to live my life epic. And honestly, that's what you got to do. And I'm not a loser. I'm a winner. And so the Xbox fans, I'm going to have to do it. But this is for you because it's going to get rough.
You're a winner. And you know what winners say. Fuck the losers who can't take a joke.
Man the fuck up.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm not here to babysit grown men feelings. All right. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm going to play my epic intro. I'm going to add the link so you guys could join JD, Legend, Holtz, Sanchez, whoever you are. If you want to join me and be a part of the panel, we're going to get into it. So after this epic intro is over, let's go.
And now, your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon. Does things look bad for Microsoft / Xbox? So we're about to do that. Let me see. Xbox. This is about to get crazy, guys. So let me see. I'm going to put yes. They are doomed. Good. 3. Okay, let me add it. Let me add another thing. Let me see. Let me see. I need one more good one. Oh, I got one. So you know what? This will work. All right, cool. So I put up a poll, guys. Make sure you join the poll. So we got some topics to cover. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be a good thing. I dropped the link so any one of you guys could join. So coming in the building right now, he's kind of like my right hand man. He's always there pulling up the crazy topics. We always get into it, guys. None other than my guy. Give it up for F Cat is in the building. F Cat, what is going on, bro? Talk to me, man. Seems like it's been forever since we were sitting here talking about some topics.
Just chilling, man.
Oh, you know what? Let me, this is why I like this mic. When I put my mic in, it's way louder than coming out of my TV. And then my monitor, and then my monitor won't echo. All right, go ahead, FCAT. Loud and clear.
All right.
All right, so we got Rue Diggs is in the building. What's up, Rue Diggs? He said, what's up? Hey. And then let's see. Chloe said, yes, sir, Christmas. I can't wait for that, Chloe. Guys, if you want to join the chat, you want to be a part of the actual panel, click on this link. It'll pull you in. We got Nikki is in the building. So, guys, jump on in. I got my first topic, right? We're not going to jump right into the Xbox thing. I got a creepy, crazy top. Not creepy, but I'm glad that Holtz is jumping in because he's your guy. He's my guy. He's the accent guy. And Holtz is in the building. Holtz, what is going on?
Well, I thought I'll quickly get a drink, quickly jump on, because I've just seen the intro. And I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to these topics. So,
Oh yeah.
click the link, and doof, here I am.
So, anybody else who want to join, just jump in. I'll pull you right in. So, I want to start this off. I have a really strange thought that crossed my mind over the weekend. Okay. It was really strange. Host, check microphone. Check 1 2. Host, check 1 2.
No, I can hear it.
Okay.
I did it
Okay.
reverb. I was like, just checking it was me.
Sounds great. You sound great. Your voice is amazing. We love it. Yes. So, hear me out. This is going to be really weird. So, guys, just calm down. So, you know how they say, like, we could be in the Matrix, right? You know how some people don't believe in heaven and hell? You know how some people believe when you die, you're gone? You know how some people believe in aliens? We believe in all this stuff, right? So, you guys following me, right? I'm not getting too weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I was thinking the other day, right? Nikki said hi, Holtz.
Hi, Nikki.
And I was thinking, now I know one of you guys are going to come out with some scientific, cool explanation. It's going to sound great. You ever see when they watch a plant grow, right? And they like have the camera that catches it and it speeds the frames up and you watch the seed, you know, you watch the plant come out the ground and grow and grow and grow, right? So the other day, I don't know why it crossed my mind. I was like, so somebody like me who has a hard time believing in ghosts, I have a hard time believing in like UFOs because I haven't seen it. But something I've seen but I didn't see was humans growing. Okay, just hear me out. I know Holtz is like, what the F?
No,
So
I've heard something like this before. That's why I'm smart.
So here's the thing, Holtz. Like, you think of it when you're a baby. What's up? What's up?
No, I was just gonna make sure I post on videos.
My man.
On the YouTube issue.
See this, guys? Eric got me covered. Thank you.
That's your son, isn't it, Cowboy?
That's my son, yeah.
I love in the same sentence. You're like, I've never seen a human being grow up, and then your son walks in and goes, "Hey, your dad."
Oh man, you couldn't have planned that any better. Okay, so what I mean is this. Yes, I've seen my son, right, my kids, be babies and grow. But when we think of science, right, and we think of, just think of a baby. And we're going to go anatomically, right? When you think of a baby, you think of bones, you think of skin, you think of flesh, right? Even an animal. This one made me think this. Okay, let me bring this up. So I was watching Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. And I was looking at one of the dragons, big, huge dragon. I was like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. They make the dragon's hands are on their wings. And so I could picture how they're crawling on fours, but they could stand up on their feet. And I was like, oh, imagine if the dragon was little, it was cute, and then it grew. And you could picture like the wings growing. And I'm like, yeah, but wait. So it just, all right, so I'm getting there. I know this is a little spaced out, right? So when I think of like a person, right? And look, let's get spaced out. So I'm going to need some space cadets in here. So let's bring in none other than my guy who hosted a really great epic show last night. Rudiggs is in the building. Let's go. Rudiggs, what's going on?
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you, man. We're getting a little crazy, but another guy, I can't think of a person who's more out of his noggin than none other than the master of space and time himself, Obi-Rose Kenobi. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Came to hang out for a little bit. I'm here
at
7 o'clock. At 7
All
o'clock.
right, so you're here at 7 o'clock. That's about 35 minutes. So hold on.
I love how Rudiggs and Obi-Rose are your space cadets.
I know, man. Right? I mean, for different reasons.
So, all right. So, hear me out. So, I'm getting weird, Rudiggs. I'm getting weird. Okay. So, what I was thinking though is we always say we can't believe this, can't believe that, right? But, dude, just me. Okay. It blew my mind when I stopped and thought. So, what grows? Like, let's say you we get. Like, Rose is like, if you see this guy in real life, I look at him like this. I'm telling you, this guy's massive, bro. He could be a wrestler, right? I look up to him like, bro, why are you so big? Why is your head so big? So here's the thing, right? Just think. Imagine little baby Rose, right? He was a rosebud at the time. Wasn't even a rose. So little baby Thorn. Matter of fact, he's a little thorn, right? Not even a rosebud. So little baby Thorn. And, like, what happens, right? Does, like, like, because our bone, right? Our bone's one of the hardest part of the human body. Our bones, right? So I mean, you could take a bone and crack somebody's skull. Wow, bro. All right. So just like, dude, somebody help me out here. So just fathom like our body. So like, what's like, what is pushing out and then pulling the skin?
About cells dividing?
Bro, no, forget the cells dividing. I'm talking about.
Grow.
Well, hold on. And the Rudix, Captain Scientist, you're jumping there. So what I'm saying is, dude, just imagine when you was a baby, or not you, but you watching a baby, right? And just imagine even if you had a still camera that caught his whole life and it sped it up. When you watch that, like, leg get longer and arms get longer and fingers, like, it was blowing my mind to think, and we got joints and tendons and, like, come on, bro. Like, it almost feels like we are a type of like a robot, and we got, I don't know, somebody take over.
But the
please.
difference between watching a flower grow over its life cycle.
Cowboy a special brownie or something?
Yeah.
No, man, just no. I didn't get a special brownie, okay?
But Cowboy, stop drinking my tea, man.
I know, right? Like,
I mean, it's totally different with capturing a flower to its life cycle of what, 3-4 years maybe, and just keeping it in a controlled environment. You couldn't put a camera on a baby from its day it's born and just constantly look at it.
I'm sure somebody probably did it, Holtz. I'm pretty sure somebody, as cruel as it is, somebody did it. No. Somebody did it, Holtz.
So,
but guys, come on! I want somebody to jump in there, man. Help me out.
Hold on. I'm very confused. I think I understand what you're saying. You watch human beings grow, but you don't watch flowers grow? Like,
no, that's not what I said. Nikki said, Aunt, you're always been weird. That was what makes you awesome. But thank you very much, Nikki. What I'm saying is,
you started with like, we live in the Matrix. So I'm like, and then you're like,
well, I was just trying to throw out different things out there, but
I immediately went Morpheus and him with Neo and the pill and showing the fields.
Hear me out.
So that's why I'm like,
all right, wait. Does it not seem weird to you?
He's trying to say we could be an instance of something, because we've never seen proof of children grow up into adult. We could just be instances. Like, he walks into a scene, like the Matrix, and his life, what he thinks is his life is unfold is not. It's just the instance of.
But isn't that life anyway? Like, if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things, whether you believe in science, however you believe, science, Bible, whatever, 1 million years, 7,000, whatever it means. If you really look at your life, let's say you live and you're blessed to live 100 years. That's 100 years over thousands of years. You are a blip. I'm not being mean, rude, or ignorant. I'm not saying that people's lives don't matter. No, they do matter. But you're blipping right now through time, because in the grand scheme of things, like, you don't know your great. Okay,
hold on. I don't want to get away from what I was trying to get to. So let's back up here, because I want you guys I want to try to explain it so you guys could kind of walk it through with me, right? What I'm saying is, does it not blow your mind to think that we're stretching, right? Bones, like, okay, so if bone is growing, okay, so if you take Rose stands up, right? And the guy's tall, his head hit the ceiling, right? If he stands up, what's growing first? Or your bone, like, if you was 5'5", and then you grew to be 6'2", like, what on your body is growing? Come on, host, jump in there.
This is really gonna blow your mind. What do you imagine if you had somebody who could literally eat and grow the correct way? There would be people walking around like 9 foot tall. Like, if you really think about it, we do a lot of things in the world that stunt our growth and all that other stuff, right? Like smoke a cigarette, stunt your growth. Imagine if you could take a baby in its purest form, at the purest form of this planet's life cycle. What is that baby or person going to look like? They're not affected by any of this stuff.
Okay, before you get into that, before you take the ship left, okay?
What?
Because just before you go left, Holtz was about to chime in and be on actual point with where we was going, I think. Go ahead, Holtz.
I think bones grow first. I think the internal organs grow first, then it's the bones, and then the skin sort of just adapts to, like, because the skin's only there, just, it's so flexible, isn't it? Elastical.
So is the bone stretching our skin out?
I think the bones is, because there's conditions where there's people where the skin hasn't grown as fast and bones have actually went right through the hands.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Actually, Yeah, actually, he's correct too, because if you think about it, like if you've ever taken a supplement, they'll tell you like this supplement is for elasticity in the skin, or like if you see somebody who's like 600 pounds and then all of a sudden they lose all this weight, they have all that excess skin. It's because the skin had become so elastic and they had lost so much, the body couldn't adapt to it.
So then you think the bones, lateral, like at the exact same time, bones grow out and down, up and down?
Bringing in the science of bones is bones have to break with microfractures, and the more it has microfractures, the more actually it gets like calcium and stuff like that, and it sort of grows bigger, stronger. And I think that's what we do. We in all our life we're constantly grinding our bones, and it's constantly healing, and that is how our body sort of goes.
Well, from the science room, your DNA, you're born with DNA, and that is like the roadmap to how mitosis is going to occur in your body, and that's the dividing recreation of cells. So through that process, mitosis follows the DNA roadmap into what grows, how long, how big. Unless some nice looking lady walks by, then that may mess with something else growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, who put him on here? Who let him on here? Oh, that was me. Well, Holtz, I think Holtz just cracked the code, right? I think the way Holtz explained it, so if our bones is what's growing first, and our bones just simply stretch out our skin, right? So our organs are growing as well internally, but on the outer side. So what you see, right? You see my arms, like, I mean, look at Rose. This guy's a wrestler, so he knows. So to build muscle is simply tearing muscle, right, Rose? So when you build muscle, you simply tear it, and
you tear it and it binds back stronger. But I also agree with the science room. I agree with him 300%. It's all in your DNA, but there is a science to it. If you remember back in slave days, they actually would breed black people to be bigger and stronger, to carry bigger things. That was a known thing. They even did it in ancient Egypt, which black people, Egyptians, whatever you want to call them, they would build them to be bigger. Like somebody knows how to do that. Somebody knows how to say, okay, if you take a 4-foot person with a 7-foot person, you're going to come up with a 5'3" person. Somebody knows that science or whatever it is behind it, because they used to breed people.
It's like them breeding dogs. When they breed dogs, they get like a mini husky
built into humans now. That's how attraction, they're actually saying, comes from. If you find somebody with a uniquely diverse immune system that's different from yours, they're saying biologically you're going to be attracted to that person to create a human with an even stronger immune system.
Okay, I know attraction, but how come we haven't got the superhuman at this state where we've understood the science and we've realized that if we breed...
It's Obi right there. That's what we're talking about. He's the
bro. It's Obi. It's Obi.
Oh,
so F-Cat is like, what the...
Now, here's one for you. Like, let's say Obi's height, like 6'2", for example. Is bigger, taller, bigger and better. So if you go to the largest man on the earth...
Hey, wait, no one's doing that.
I'll tell you what.
Where are you going with this?
I'll tell you what. I know I'm tall. I am 6'2". I know I'm tall. I ran into a guy.
I'm not large.
Back like 10 years ago, it was huge. Now it's like the average NBA player now was like 6'7", but 20 years ago the average NBA player was like
I'm scared
5.
to meet up with you guys because Cowboy, we have to put him in like a little pram or something. You know,
bro, I'm like this big, Holt, so I can just jump on your back, you carry me around, just hold me, you know?
Listen, if this were the Lord of the Rings, he's definitely a hobbit, okay?
Well, I can't be an elf. I can't be an elf. Really?
Nah.
So Nikki said, I think bones grow like they tell you to drink milk. It helps build up the calcium in your bones to help you grow.
Can I ask Nikki a question about that?
Why is no one in this chat talking other than me? Because they're like, we don't want to talk about this.
Can I ask Nikki just one question about the calcium and the milk and all that?
Okay.
I'm not saying she's wrong, but Nikki, I need you to answer this for me. Have you ever met anybody who has had Pepsi with their milk? Because I still need to know. Okay, I gotta know.
Okay, I've got Pepsi Max here. Do you want me to put some milk in and try it?
No, please don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Please.
Imagine
please
it just.
Don't.
Folks, do not do that.
Oh man!
Don't do it.
So yeah, I will say this. Like back then, 6 foot was like tall. Back then, 6'2" was tall. I met a guy about 10 years ago. I'm not even making this up. He was like 6'9". I've never ever had to literally stare at any, and I literally was like looking up at him. And I was like, wow, I think for the first time in my life, I know what it feels like when people talk to me. And it's like, yo, this dude is so tall. But it was weird because I think I asked him like, hey, how tall is your mom? And I think he was like, my mom is like 4'11" or something. And I was like, that is very interesting. But his dad was like 6'9". So I think like when it comes to the height and like stuff, I think you, and I don't know, but I think your DNA code steals that from your father.
On the attractionist level, Obi, have you ever been told that you're too tall, being 6'2"?
Yeah, back like years ago, like 15 years ago, yes. Now people see me and I'm like, I'm the average dude. I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like I'm small now in a sense because like I said, the average basketball player is like
where
6'6",
you're
6'7".
small at 6'2". I mean, the average height for a male is 5'8" across the board.
Really?
I'm tall. Whoa.
Sanchez, I have no idea what they're talking about.
I just go most
6 foot. I'm just over 6 feet.
That say, them girls on Tinder, they be saying, if you're not 6 feet or older, swipe left or whatever.
Yeah, that is true. Some girls want that tall. Yeah, no, he said it's girls on Tinder that said if you're not 6 feet or taller, they swipe left. So there's some girls who just like, you ever hear the tall, dark, and handsome? So some girls just like, oh, we want this super tall dude.
Probably a lot of them people are measuring with the actual foot. Like six of my shoe sizes.
That is crazy. So like that is wild. One, and I'm not coming at anybody who's on any dating site, but like, yo, you don't even like. There was just something in the news a couple of days ago. Some dude got catfished and like it ended up in like a triple murder in California from Tinder or something.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, yo, this is like crazy. Like I hope it wasn't something as stupid as they lied about their height. That's wild.
Tinder needs to be like Uber. You need to give stars after your date.
Wait, you need to give stars after your date on.
Yeah, you got rate them.
That way you know. Oh, this person's a 4. This person's a 5-star. Oh, I'm gonna go out with them.
Have you seen Black Mirror?
No, but I
the
need
nosedive
to see
episode.
There's an episode where the dating and like your whole life is fucking broadcasted on the star rating. So in the end, if you lose stars, you can actually not go further in society or anything else because people have disliked you and you just sort of become the dregs of society.
Oh wow!
Say, there's one with dating and there's one with how it affects in society. So if everyone keeps on giving you 5 stars, you can afford a better mortgage, a better job, a better this. But if people start putting it,
I heard that show is like so good. I think I saw an episode of that where I guess it was this guy, he was working for a company and he hated some of the workers, so he'd like trap their bodies and put them in like the Starship Enterprise or something. I think that's Black Mirror. Yeah, that is. Yo,
that was the first episode of the new season.
Yeah, I saw that and was like,
yeah, Mr. Urban World's been telling me forever to watch it. He wants me to watch season 5, episode 1. I didn't forget, but I wanted him to watch a movie for me. So if he watch a movie, I watch an episode. I wanted him to watch Hello, Darling, or what is it called? Yeah, right. I think it's called Hello, the movie that was just out a couple months ago. But I want him to watch that. But yeah, if it didn't have so many seasons, then because I love all that crazy stuff like Twilight Zone, blah blah blah. But I think it's too many for me to try to catch up.
There's a good episodes where on your first meeting of a person, a computer will actually generate attraction and create an algorithm of your life and your desires based on who you are. And then what it'll do, if you look at a woman, it'll project, will she be the perfect mother, wife for you? And then it'll give you the percent rated, and then it'll say on your first, don't date her. Yeah, and in the end, the computer's constantly generating every person you look at in an instant. It's like quantum computing this perfect life partner for you, and I think that's what's going to happen in the future. We're going to rely on technology to match our perfect partner.
You know what's crazy? I'm seeing these things about these robots pop up out of nowhere. Everything it's like, it's like real robot people with like skin, and like it's like you can't tell the difference between them and like people. I mean, there's a little mechanical thing, but if it was just sitting there and I'm like, yo, where is this going to? Like, what is happening? Are we really about to do that whole Terminator thing right now? Like, is that happening?
Remember that movie that's coming out soon called Megan? So it's the robot and the lady, like, I guess the girl lost her parents, so they get this artificial, AI, this robot that looks like a doll, but it's like her same height, and that thing pretty much goes Chucky on everybody. So yeah, that's coming out soon. And Nikki said, I agree. I prefer a taller man. She said, where's Mr. Urban World? Let me see. Rude Diggs is here, but also in the chat.
But is taller man attraction just based on, female to male, or do people like taller women?
I prefer short women, but I'm only 5'5", but I do prefer shorter women.
Yeah, you go to these dates, I'm sure, with these 6 feet only women, and they're like, what, tiny little girls, 5'3"? So I think I saw a comedian one time express that all these little tiny women are taking all the tall guys. You guys need to start going height appropriate.
I mean,
height appropriate. You know what's crazy? I've only met in my lifetime, I think I've only met 3 girls taller than me. This one girl, I think they used to call her Big Country, but she was like 6'6". She was tall. And that was when I was like 13, 14, she was tall. I was like, whoa, that's a tall girl. I'll tell you who I think is another tall girl, but I don't really know her full height. Rhea Ripley. That's a tall woman. She gotta be like 6 foot.
But what I was trying to say is that like a nature's mistake? Like on average? Or is it nature trying to make us humans taller?
Nature's mistake.
Well, you know what I mean. Is it trying to make the way that we're actually mating with people? Are we getting taller as humans? As soon are we going to be big as? I don't know.
I like that perspective, but I think we're at a intersection where nature wants one thing and society wants another. So society's input through media and stuff, that's going to influence heavy. And then nature's influence is, I would say, even weaker than the mind's influence when you're controlled by society.
Nikki said, I'm 5'8". My husband is 6'1". Let me see. Doc Dark is in the building. He said, I don't like your selection. Hey, listen, bro. But the fact that Doc came in here real quick, guys, make sure you join in the poll. The poll says, does things look bad for Microsoft/Xbox? 19% said yes, they are doomed. 44% said no, they are looking good for 2023. 6% said Game Pass is all they need. And I screwed up the word, but you know what I meant. And 31% says I don't care about Xbox. So join that poll if you can. I believe how many people? 16 people voted. So Doc, make sure you join in. We know you got a bunch of bots just constantly hitting number two. But yeah, I mean, man, I've been short my whole life, right? So when people do the short jokes, I'm like, no, you gotta do better. But yeah, I mean,
I don't think 5'5" is short.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like when you're like, oh, that's a short man. I'm like, oh, what is he, 5'1"? Like,
well, they say like, 4'11" is under 4'11" is a midget, small person, whatever you want to call it, right?
I mean,
so
the whole conversation makes sense now. Why he's actually thinking what grows first, because in his monologue inside his brain, he must have thought, why am I 5'5"? What does he grow first? And I think that's what the conclusion he came up with.
That is definitely not what happened. That's not what happened.
He wasn't looking at no flowers. He was just pondering, why am I 5'5"? And that's what happened.
Look, Doc said I already voted. I may need that promo GameFly code, bro. I'm just telling you, if you had a problem with $70 games, that's your answer right there. Because imagine a game. Well, no, you got Game Pass.
Game Pass.
So you good. You got Game Pass. You don't need GameFly. You got Game Pass.
This is a. Are you going on that topic? I'll wait. I'll be quiet.
So I'm gonna get to that, but I just wanted to cover this because it crossed my mind, and I was just like, I know it's a little spaced out, and maybe I was drinking Rudig's tea and all, but yeah, I mean, or it's hot chocolate, but yeah, I mean, I just thought like I really sat there and was like, when I think of a human being growing. And I'm trying to fathom, like, if you broke it down, like, you really recorded somebody and had it sped up, like, I would want to see, like, think about it, right? And even imagine when you grow outwards, right? Not just up and down. Just like somebody's fingers get bigger or wider, or like if you think of feet, right? And it's just like, it's amazing. You think like the skin, like what is the skin? The cells are multiplying, they get bigger.
But what I find great about this is I'm picturing you going to this new gym. You've just brought this new protein powder, and it's plant based, and you haven't realised what plant based it is, and you're like, what the matter?
So I don't take protein, first of all. But I did start the new gym. And I am hurting right now, so I did hurt myself, but it is what it is. Let me see what Doc is saying.
Obi, tell him.
Nah. Obi,
he's not gonna listen to me.
Rudigs, let me say this.
Nobody listens to me for workout advice. They should, but they don't.
I'll say this. Go ahead.
It's got to be genetics. The whole point is, I don't take protein when I was lifting weights, and when I was measuring, me and my brother, who was always on protein, when we were measuring like our bicep, like this 2 years ago, mine was like 55 centimeters. His was like 53, and his was 55. And I'm like, that's not. You're taking a lot of protein, and in the end, I feel it's a genetic thing. I think protein helps you recover, but I don't think it actually builds real muscle.
So,
I think it just builds water weight. I think.
I'll say this. Effervescent, creatine. Anyway, that's the whole thing. But so I used to be super. Hear me out, Rudigs. And I was talking to Rose about this in the morning on the drive to work and blah, blah, blah. There is general statements that's cast upon all humans, right? You should do this. You should do that. But I want you all to hear this. There is always the exception to the rule. Now, me or Obi was talking about stretching, how important it is. And I said, bro, my whole life, like, I just went in the gym cold and started working out. I can show you pictures. You'd be like, bro, look at you. Like, people wanted me to train them. I've always done things different. Now, I do think there's a general, hey, you need 8 hours of sleep. I don't get 8 hours of sleep. I'm the most wired, energetic person. But for some reason, right, so there's always an exception to the rule. And I think going back to protein, right, I was Mr. GNC in the height of my working out. And when I got off of it, right, I used to be into the protein. I used to take my vitamins. And one time I tested, I said, I want to take these multivitamins, right? And then I want to not take them. There was not a difference besides my pee not being bright yellow, right? Or like neon yellow. So I think that when you think of protein and when you think of vitamins, your body has to be deficient in something. Like, the doctor might say, hey, you're deficient in vitamin C, take vitamin C. That's why everybody's different. We can't just say, oh, you need this. And no, all of you need this. No, because everybody's body is different. And so where I was like, man, I'm taking this stuff and I don't feel it different. So and like Hoach, you always say, you fall for the marketing, right? Mm-hmm. I was looking at GNC like, oh, you got effervescent creatine and you got this and you got that. And I would try this and I try that. And I'd be like, man, not much is really affecting me. Now, Obi was telling me this morning, well, I bet if you was to stretch, I'm thinking like, well, actually the guy who's had me work out had me do all these crazy stretches before each thing, but whatever, I did, and I still hurt my arm. So long story short is what I'm saying is there's an exception to the rule, but there's also everybody is an individual, and what works for you don't always mean it's going to work for the next person. So when we say like, oh, well, you need to do this, and you need to take this, and this does this. Yeah, for you.
Well, do you know what, Cowboy? I'm exactly like you. When I was in circuit training and stuff like that, apart from the first few times I went, my muscles were sore. But after going there a year, 2 years, I wasn't feeling anything, and I wasn't even stretching. It was just going in, boom, 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 back out.
Right.
So I feel like it got to be with people's preference. I know stretching is actually more of a safer thing to get the muscles warmed up before you do stuff. But I thought the exercise will warm that up because I never go in straight away and go all out, should I say so.
So here's the funny thing. Cowboy is not lying. I am a big guy. I can't help that. That's the truth. I didn't used to be so big, though. I want to say I was 21. I was probably 160 pounds soaking wet. I was thin as a twig. And we had pictures. I don't know if we still have them. Kind of to your point, if you could see a human grow, you can literally see me. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never done a steroid. Only thing I've ever put in my body is pre-workout. I did one cycle of creatine, but it hurt my arms. And I'll explain that in a minute. And all I've done is taken protein. And I mean, I literally blew up. It was natural protein, regular protein. Now, here's the thing. Like, when you really think about protein and all that meat and all the fats and stuff, if I stop working out, I will turn flubbery. And I'm not trying to be funny, but you can add mass to your body. And you're right. Some protein does have like a like a water retention,
Right.
creatine
Right.
in it, which is cool. But once you shred that excess water off, that doesn't mean that you can't grow bigger and still have that size with the water gone. Like, that's a thing. If you continue to feed the muscle and you continue to work and tear out, you will eventually continue to blow up.
Right.
And that's kind of what happened with me. If I stopped feeding my muscle the way I was feeding it, and let's say I just went like cardio regimented, clean cut, clean calories, just broccoli and stuff, then I would probably be as strong as a horse, but I wouldn't be this big. And like that's why I'm starting to cut down on my protein intakes and the more meats and stuff I eat because I'm trying to slim down. And I'm not like huge, but I don't like how big I am. Like, I'm like, all right, cool.
Well, that's why.
Well, hold that thought real quick, host. Let me just jump into the chat real quick. I don't want it to run away from me. But Doc said, Cowboy, you are lean, so you look taller than you look, and he looks shorter than you look because he's wider. And that was cool because me and Doc got to meet each other. And when I met Doc, I was like, bro, he's a lot shorter than I thought. I thought Doc was this big. I thought Doc would look like Rose. That's what I thought. And I was like, oh, wow, man, Doc isn't as big as I thought. But he is in great shape. I'm not saying that. So you saw me in person. Rude Diggs talking about teas, which you guys already got to read. And he is already so on here. Lethal is in the building. Read my damn comment, Cowboy. I just did. I was getting to it, man. The panel always have great stuff. And so sometimes I'll be behind. But protein definitely builds muscles. Obi is the only one on this panel that I can tell his size. Y'all should listen to him. I mean, those steroids work for him. Mr. Urban said, I was listening to you while I was back in VAR. Fingers hurt. He's talking about how hurt he is from doing VAR. Let's see. His fingers hurt. Nikki said, Mister. He said, Nikki. Yeah, they're having a little lovely Christmas exchange. We could skip all that. Good for you guys to meet back up again. Oh, help these guys, please. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see. And he's talking about Frank and King Kong as usual. Let me see. And let me see. Yep, Obi is a big guy. That's why he said he used 150% strength on him. All right. Anyway, Cowboy, read the damn comments. I'm reading them, man.
Oh, man. I'm
almost done.
Size get you, Holtz. Like, it's cool to go to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I want to live long. And people are like, oh, he's big.
Now, Lethal knows Obi, and Lethal just said Obi is small.
I'm 6 foot, right? So in the end, I'm taller than the average, but Rudick says
Right.
5'8".
Right.
And one girl actually said to me, Holtz, I don't believe you're 6 foot. Stand by the door. So I stood by the door frame, which is about 6'4". And she went, well, how do you know? I don't know, that's a small door frame. I'm like, oh my God.
So it's funny because... So it's funny you say that, and Cowboy and some people in the United States, they might remember this. Back in the 80s, like, houses, obviously, they weren't built the way they are today. Mm-hmm. So, like, the average door frame was, like, 5'5". So, like, I remember, like, my dad would literally have to bend to walk into places because he was 6'6".
Rose,
in this house, there used to be a dip on the staircase coming down, like sort of the ceiling of the staircase.
Yeah, the ceiling. Yeah.
I used to always whack it, and we had to smooth it out really smooth because I used to always whack it.
Wait, you see what Doc said? Doc said Obi is definitely on roids.
Yo, you bugging. That is not a thing for me.
Yo.
Man, I'll
it's
tell
all
you right
about
now, I got some. I've been
regimented diet, though, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All throughout my 20s, I cut out huge. I was all jiu-jitsu. I was all martial arts. Wanted to be a kung fu fighter. I leaned down to like 160 at 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Now in my 30s, my whole thing is try and get bigger. But I have to go in calorie excess. Like eating that much food is difficult.
It is very hard.
I've only managed to gain 10 pounds, and like even keeping that on me is
well,
very tough.
You know what you're doing? So you're doing something to your body that wasn't intended. That's the thing. So remember, there's 3 types of bodies. The ectomorph. I forgot all the different morphs, right?
There's an ecto, endo, and I can't think of the other one.
So there's 3 types of bodies, but yeah, right. So you're trying to make your body be something that wasn't intended, and it's not saying you can't. It's just like you said, it's gonna be hard, and you can. So we could achieve all these things we want, right? And with science, right? But with some help and some what Rose do, we're gonna leave that alone to what's in them needles. But the thing is, you're gonna, in order to push your body either be bigger or smaller than what it was intended to do, it's gonna take some extra, extra attention, but it can happen.
Let me tell you something. You know what? Listen, guys.
Rose, I heard there's a video out there with you with your pants down and a needle. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's the word on the street.
Listen, let me tell you something. I started my gym. It's funny because somebody asked me the other day. They were like, "How long?" There's this kid at the gym, and like he's cool, and like I feel like you could tell he just started. And he's like, "How long is it going to take me to get big like you?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing this for almost 15 years." And he was like his jaw just drops. And he's like, I gotta work that hard. And I'm like,
that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Cowboy, actually speaking about your fitness video, I was laughing at your video because he walks into the male changing room without a care in the world with his phone out going,
"Yo, you can't be doing that, bro."
And someone could have been there with the kicks down with the needle going, bro.
So let me explain. I was in there first and scoped it out, okay? And then I started recording, all right? I made sure. Now, what you guys don't see is my different takes. When I was first in there and I took my shirt off, a guy walked in and I was like, all right, hold up. So I stopped, cut that, and redid it. So there's funny stuff that happens because I do vlog. But I make sure, though. When I did that scan, I made sure nobody was in there when I did it.
No, but when you see the video, it just looks like you bounced in it.
Yeah, I know.
I love the video. He's like, "Yeah, man, what you don't want to do is you don't want to go hard. It's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to come in here and be a dummy. That's what you don't want to do." Yeah, I think I hurt my shoulder.
Yeah, I love when you went, and they got punch bags, and instead of doing a proper punch, you just went, pff. I was like,
yeah.
Sort of fist bumped it, like to say.
Listen, man, I got to keep the comedy going. But let's do this, though. I know Rose is about to leave.
I gotta go. Thank you for having me.
This guy, man.
What, me?
Because I just wanted to switch to the Xbox thing real quick.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll give you 5 more. We could do 705.
All right, she's going to give me 5. Guys, so let's just switch the topic. Let's bring up this Xbox thing because it's going to be epic.
Topic switch.
All right, so check it out, guys. We're switching the topic, and it's going to get a little crazy. Maybe not. But so here's the premise. So Microsoft just announced that they will be charging $70 for their Xbox exclusive games. So their premier games. Now, big deal, right? Sony's been doing it forever, right? Since PlayStation 5. Well, the reason why it's a big deal and it's controversy, because there's a lot of people like Doc Dark 1985, there's levels. There's a lot of people like Frogman X. There's a lot of people like TK9. Yeah, I'm throwing out names. That they laughed when PlayStation was charging $70. They felt, why are games $70? Why can't they still be $60? Well, this is next generation. Sony decided we was going to up the price $10, right? So it was a big deal. People going, fighting, scratching, clawing. Sony is dumb, this and that. And Microsoft announced it, almost 2 years later into the cycle. And so now it's a big deal. Now, some people got a little egg on their face, but it is a thing. So I want to ask you guys, on the panel and sitting at home or wherever you are watching, why is that a big deal? Is it even a big deal? But we're going to get into it. So let's bring back my guy F-Cat on the panel. Bring back none other than hosts, Rude Diggs, and Obi Rose. And yeah, man, let's talk about it. So Obi, could you go first? Because we know you got to do some things.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
You always be putting these panels out and you don't be having like right options and stuff to be asking, because I always be jumping in between question or answer 1 and 2. Like, you need to put like an option for answer 1 and 2. Listen, I don't think Xbox is done because Microsoft, that they're not going to allow that to happen.
Right.
But it is crazy to see all the people who are like, oh, I'm good. Like, and I'm not making fun of anything that happened, but with like Stadia, people are like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to get an Xbox, or I'm not going to get a PlayStation because they got $70 games. I'm going to go with the Xbox and the cloud service and this and that. And now you're kind of in my boat. And it's like, hey, welcome to the club. You know what I mean? And it's like, so now what's your excuse for not playing decent games? And, I don't care if you have Xbox or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like they really shot themselves in the foot. A lot of people are going to have to walk back a lot of statements. And for me, it's just easier to walk the statement back now and be like, yeah, I said the wrong thing. and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I got to pay $70 for games and take it from there. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking into it, man. Like, I don't know. We got to pay $70 for games. I'm not complaining because eventually we'll be playing $120 for games.
There you go.
Hopefully
they accept the $70. Let's go for $700.
Yeah, like real. If we want to stop the $70 gaming thing, then the first we need to stop with the pre-orders. Like if you're gonna pre-order, you don't pre-order the the mega edition.
Right.
Like if you pre-order like God of War for $120. That's just allowing them to move the goalpost. Hey, you know what? We're gonna make
but at least when you do that, you're expecting to get. So they sell it to you that you're gonna get extra stuff, right? Than other people. So you're at least paying for something extra. Just paying an extra $10 when they said their games wasn't $70 is kind of like, wait, what? Now here's my thing: is at the end of the day. Listen, Sony explained why, right? Well, I guess they never did explain why, but they explained why they was raising the PlayStation price itself. So things do go up. So, and then Microsoft would feel like they got a burden, which is called Game Pass. If they're going to tell you that all of their exclusive games is going to be included for $15.99 a month, one, that got to go up. But listen, maybe that's the way they make extra money by making the games itself go up. So if you don't get Game Pass, at least they still make extra money. I don't know. But what about you, Holtz?
It doesn't bother me one bit. I mean, when I was going into this generation, he told us the price of development and the cost in gaming across the industry and stuff like that has been going.
Sorry, guys, I gotta pop off. Great show. Xbox is gonna pay the same amount as everybody else now. It was only a matter of time. Sorry, Holtz, for interrupting. Take care, everyone.
Till next time.
All right, later.
And in the end, he explained that gaming's only been the cheapest last gen. So in the end, he've already told us that gaming should have been more if they didn't put it on hold. So in the end, he warned us that it was going to increase. So with that in mind, I was like, okay, next gen games are going to be $70 across the board. That's great. So, and if I look at like Steam, their games went up to $60. If I look at Call of Duty, for example, $60 on Steam, where people say, oh, it's $50. So across all platforms, gaming has went up. So in the end, I won't hate Xbox for doing it last, should I say, when other companies have been doing it. They're just standing in the lane that everyone else is doing, and they're saying to people, look, this has to go, unless you actually want to fund a development of gaming yourself, like sort of. So I feel like I'm all good, and you have to realise that sales these days, especially digital sales or game sales or trading sales and stuff like that, are happening more frequency, which is hurting the industry. So if you want the game prices to stay at 70 or go cheaper, stop pirating, stop trading, stop reselling, and stop, and you won't have a problem.
I want to say this before I hop off of here. I kind of feel like, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, the past, if you bought a game, and I'm going to use PlayStation, I'm going to jump on PlayStation. If you bought say Cyberpunk 2077 or even Gotham Knights, I feel like we are now paying $70, $80, $90 for incomplete games. And I feel like they're going to get to a point where they're like, oh, if you want the complete game, it's $200. We'll sell you the incomplete version for such and such.
Well, I don't know about that. I got into this messaging that they told us years ago that why do people always pick on gaming but never complain about Netflix subscription or consuming cinema of like $12, $15.
No, I think they do. I've definitely had the complaints.
So back in the day, people used to buy CDs, for example, at $15, or they go to cinema and they consume a movie for 2 hours, and they're trying to say, why can't gaming be exactly the same? So you're at least experiencing a 10-hour plus game. So in the end, shouldn't you factor in the price of the game and the experience you're getting? So I feel like if I'm playing a 10-hour game, that should equal to $70 if it was, for example, if I compared it to other outlets of media.
So I got a real logistical reason for PlayStation doing $70 games. I can't say for Xbox, besides maybe they need to make that money back. But before we do that, let me just bring in none other than JD. I think the last time me and JD did something together was the Black History Month thing, but JD got a lot to say on this.
I'm gonna head out, guys. Thank you for having me, JD. Sorry, I don't want to cut it on your time. You guys have a good one. I'll be in the chat lurking.
All right, Rose.
Thank you, guys, and thank you. I'll see y'all later.
So JD, thanks for jumping in, man.
Yeah, man. No worries, man. What up, Anthony? What up, Holtz? What up, Obi? What up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Yeah, man.
Just chilling. What I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
what I was gonna say, Cowboy. Just I mean, if 70 is gonna be it, then we're gonna have to start, speaking with our wallets. We need to start, buying games, not pre-ordering them, right off the bat, not rushing to get them at launch off the.
See, I don't think we need to. Here's my issue. We're getting drastic. What hasn't raised its prices since you was a kid? Because I would love to wait. Rent has went up, mortgages went up, gas went up, video games went up, movie theaters went up, oxygen. I mean, dude, nothing is staying the same. So I feel like the boycott. Well, if we don't do this, don't just live your life. Like I was always saying to the Xbox guys, $70, bro. It's an extra $10. It's an extra. If you bought 4 games in a year, and it's an extra 10, then it was $40 extra than last year. Is it really that bad? So that's my thing. But go ahead.
A way to get around it would be basically through Game Pass, since they're not gonna raise the price in Game Pass, they're raising the price in the games. They're not raising the price in consoles, so they're putting it in the games, like we predicted that they would do, just like Sony does. So I mean, just being wary, being mindful of what game you're gonna buy. Especially when it comes to like trailers and stuff. Like, don't go off of CG, go off of actual gameplay. Make sure it's actual gameplay, and it's the game you want, kind of thing. Also, there's third-party discount sites out there that will give you discounts on these games.
Well, it's not just software. I mean, even hardware. When the PlayStation 3 came out, they was actually telling consumers that Sony and other hardware manufacturers are making a loss at these devices, and they needed people to buy the software. That's what happens in a life cycle. So they were telling us we could make it more powerful and more expensive if you had the money to do it. So in the end, they kept it stagnant to meet with the consumer. But over the years, they've been saying, listen here, we can't make the next generation console, we can't make these games at this heavy loss. So in the end, it's time for you as the consumer to get with the inflation time or the actual cost of development, and sort of, if gaming is for you, that's what you have to go with. So in the end, if you don't want to pay $70, then just wait until next year or 2 years when it's half price or whatever. No one's forcing
it used to be what? It used to be what, 50, then it went to 60.
No, but people are talking about the Nintendo Entertainment System days. The cartridges back then were more expensive, but people seem to forget them because they come from the PlayStation 3 days. And I'm like,
well, go ahead, JD. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, yeah, thanks for letting me be on here. Yeah, man, cartridges, Super Nintendo's games, Sega Genesis games, man. It's like you a old head gamer. Like, it costs $70 and up, man. You can go research that, and it ain't nothing new. $70 games and stuff like that, and then you would just take a loss if like that system didn't sell, like a Jaguar, whatever system came out, the Dreamcast. Like you just took that L, but you enjoyed your time playing the games and buying that system. Now it's like, oh, well, these games cost like $70. I don't want to pay that much, and I can just pay Game Pass and get for $1, and I can get all of these games. True, and that is a great value for consumers, but economically, these companies can't afford to have that cost and develop these games at the price that they're asking for. With all the mocap, with all of this stuff, 4K, you want the 4K, you want the 8K, you want the 120 frames per second, you want DLC, all live service, you want everything up to date, you want the server blades working, you want to log in, you want all of these features, but you're not willing to put in the money for the stuff that you're asking. And I feel like that's just very bad on the consumer. You can still get your deals, like FCat was saying, you can still get your PlayStation sales, your Xbox sales, your Black Friday, Christmas, all these sales, and get them at a cheaper discount, and you don't have to be day and date with these games. It still have value, but don't. But people just need to realize, like, you just can't come in here and just say, games will never go up in price. It has to always stay the
Yep.
same. It has to be $50, $60 or I'm not paying for it. And that's why you see Xbox as a studio, as a company, struggle with like 343 with the Halos and the developers and things of like that nature with their games. They struggle because Microsoft has the money, but we're talking about Xbox the brand, Xbox
Correct.
gaming. Xbox the brand has to make the money, not just rely on Microsoft money to get their development studios and all these games up to par. So
Yeah.
Well,
that was
I
my
feel
whole
the
piece.
majority that are complaining are definitely gamers who like to trade in games. They don't want to pay
Yeah.
$70, then go to GameStop and selling it for 25 and making a loss of 45. So I feel
I
like
feel like
and these are the gamers that love this trading mechanics. So in the end, you see gaming as a loss instead of moving to subscription based or a rental based like GameFly. So in the end, they're still in this mindset that the industry is so thriving with options, but I think they're just stuck in what they want. And I'm like,
I see the gamers, the ones that I see that complain about $70, is they're just doing the console war thing, to be honest with you. I don't hear a legit, like, I just hear people say, I can't believe Sony raised their games to $70. I would never pay that. Why would they do that? And it's kind of like, I looked at it like this. I thought Sony did it because I don't have a controller on me, but they have new hardware, right? So one is new hardware. So everything JD said, things, higher graphic fidelity, all that. Thank you, right? This controller he's holding does more than the previous controller. So I felt that will all developers utilize it? Maybe, maybe not. But the ones who do, the potential for them making these extra features, that's going to cost more money. So, right, if we just had the same old, if you made the same game last year and the same game this year and it looked better because it can, and it had, it utilized more things from the haptic feedback and all this stuff, that's going to be a little more money. It's a little more TLC. That just made sense to me why the games were $70, not just because, hey, it's a new next gen, we want to charge more. Hell, do that too. I don't listen. It never bothered me because I kind of don't fight what I like. Like Ho said, don't pay for it, right? Or you just will, right? If you want that game bad enough. So
it's so funny because people will actually say, "God, I will pay anything for that new God of War game if it got made." It's going to be $70, Holt. I'm not paying that. It's like, it's the new God of War game.
Right. Let it be Halo, let it be whatever it is, and let it be the ultimate package. And people will buy all this. The problem I have with the Xbox community is like they'll buy all these controllers, these accessories, these refrigerators, all this extra stuff. And then when it comes to the actual games, oh no, I can't put money down on the games. And it's like, what? Like, don't you want to see the sequel to that favorite game of yours? Don't you want to help out the developers that put it and get them paid? Like, don't you want to do those things? Oh yeah, but it's on the service. Yeah, it's on the service, but Microsoft still took a L for giving them the payout in advance early. But you, as a consumer, if you really want that company to succeed, you should help and pay for the development of the game. I don't mind renting and trying out the game on Game Pass or trying out the game on PlayStation Premium, right? I don't mind doing that. But if I like it and if I enjoy it, I don't also mind putting down the money for it, whether that's the full price of the game or getting it on sale. At least I contributed something extra to that.
And I'm that type of gamer that's admitted on these panels loads of times. I can't afford games on day one, right? And when my bills are coming out, my direct debits and stuff like that. So what I do is I look at the calendar and say, God of War's coming out in November. And what I'll do is I'll give myself a few months to build up credit, and then I'll pre-order it, knowing that that experience is going to be amazing. Then I don't feel so bad that money's tight that month. And I go, I've got the game because I fought in advance. Same way I'm going to do with Final Fantasy Core Crisis. It's always been paid for months ago. So when I get it, I'm not going to say, oh, that game went up in price, because I felt like I've already budgeted from this hobby. So I don't feel as bad.
And Lethal said he loved the hat.
Yo, shout out to Lethal, man. Appreciate you. Over 6.
With Xbox, for pre-orders, they don't charge it till like 2 weeks before the game comes out or something like that. Yeah, I don't really like that, and I don't like their refund policy. So I'm very mindful of what I buy on Xbox.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm here for the nonsense. I just feel like, and I'm just gonna put it out there because I gotta get to it. I just feel like the console wars is dumb, right? But we have preference. We're allowed to have a preference, and I'll explain it. This is how console war starts. You typically don't have money to buy. Very few people are fortunate to have them both, right? In the grand scheme of things. So you look and say, okay, what am I gonna buy? I'm gonna buy a Switch. I'm gonna buy Xbox. I'm gonna buy a PlayStation. I'm gonna buy whatever, right? And you typically pick one, and that becomes your champion, and the other one just becomes the opposition, right? So it's the people who get into mine's is bigger than yours and better than yours. So it just looks funny that they're going to do the same thing, and there was a lot of talk. So I think when JD said we want to see the same energy, and I also feel like in the silliness of it, because I got to make a video now. I mean, in my last video, people want to kill me, but it just feels like, man, you can't brag on these big companies because it's a bottom line. And yes, Microsoft got so much money, but eventually they're going to look at the books and be like, so yeah, we got so many studios we bought, and we made a statement saying all of our first-party games will be included in Game Pass, and Game Pass is only $15.99, and these studios are millions of dollars, and it's kind of like, bro, how are we gonna get somebody do the math, right? So at some point they're like, I know we said we won't do this, but we have a bottom line. And just like Holt said, these consoles, they take a loss, right? I watched a thing that said on Xbox Series X they lose about $200, on a Series S they lose about $100. Like, I remember they was only losing, $20. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, consumers have to, and crybabies and fanboys got to realize, you champion all you want, but they have a bottom line. And when they say, you know what, like when Sony said, we got to raise the price of the PlayStations, people like, I don't get why. Well, where's your $1 billion company that you oversee?
That's what I see with all those PC gamers. They're like, oh yeah, do you know I've got like this $4,000 PC and stuff like that, and you go, yeah, and you go, and I've got hundreds of Steam games. You go, yeah, wow, hundreds of thousands of Steam, and you go, yeah, I bought them all on $1 sales, and you're like, oh, that doesn't express that, this big huge I am. So I feel like that's what PlayStation and Xbox are, the fanboys are doing. I've got this, and my game's this, and give it a rest.
I got these TCL Black Friday 4K TVs that may do 120 FPS, and I'm over here championing this console that can output whatever Digital Foundry say of this thing. And your TV's not really all that. So I don't get the whole thing with these fanboys. I really don't get it. Like you said, Cowboy, these companies are going to look out for themselves. You can put a PR spin. You can be as good as Microsoft with the PR and say, hey, we're for the gamers. We got the value. We got this, that. But at the end of the day, it is a business, and they have to keep the Xbox brand afloat.
Have to.
At the end of the day, that's just what it is. And then people want to get mad when Sony has great content. I'm not saying you have to like the game. You don't have to like God of War, but they have great content. And then they see this content over here or this content on the Switch, and they say, well, how's this company doing so much better? Well, this company is selling me stuff for $1 and $15.
Yep.
You get what you pay for.
I feel bad for the next platform. So when Switch goes, we're going to up our prices to $70. They're gonna triple that hate. Damn Nintendo, the money green.
Yeah.
They'll forget about Sony doing it first, then Microsoft, and they'll.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how it is, though. Like I said, everything goes up, and we can argue all we want, but at some point we got to realize these companies. There you go. These companies, they pay for market research, right? They pay millions of dollars to have a company do research and find out what should they be paying. How can they actually make a profit? What I don't like is people who want something for free, right? They want everything super cheap. These companies, believe me, they're in business to make a profit. So when Microsoft is their thing is they're paying it forward. They're figuring, you know what, we're gonna give so much up front because we think it's gonna be so attractive that we're gonna pull gamers from here and pull gamers from there, and it's a good play unless it doesn't move fast. Look what happened to Stadia. Google said we wanted 1 million people in that first year, a million subscribers. They fell short, and guess what? We slowly watched Stadia die.
Are they attacking the extra $10 because it's a first-party exclusive from Sony and Microsoft? Is that what they're attacking? Or they're attacking
yeah, so it was a thing where...
Because if publishers, third-party developers, want to raise their game to $70, I'm great for that as well because of the time and effort it takes. So I think it also becomes standard. And I can understand why a person would say, well, if it's a Sony hardware and a Sony game, it should be the cheapest. But I'm like, nah, that's just being stupid, isn't it? Not sticking with the trends.
Yeah. Nah, it's a mindset thing, like you said earlier, Holtz and Cowboy. It's a mindset of, well, I can only afford this, and so because I can only afford this, everything should be in this price range, this price bracket. And if they're not doing it in this price bracket, then they're the anti-consumer because they're not looking out for the little guy. And it's like, no, it's everybody's right to and freedom to make more money, to budget more and save more into whatever it is, whatever you want, whatever you want to buy. This is a capitalistic society, so you're going to have to adjust your mindset to think about, I can still get a good deal, right? I don't have to buy it full price. I don't need to have it day and date. I can still wait it out and get a good deal on these games. I wait a lot of time on games, most of the times, for a sale. There's always sales. There's like every 2 weeks there's a sale on the PlayStation Store, on the Nintendo Store, on the X. There's always a sale. So I don't understand the frustration. Sonic Frontiers, perfect example, just came out on the PlayStation Store. You can get the digital deluxe Sonic Frontiers for $48. $48, and it just came out.
And JD, Gotham Knights, that took a big, huge cut in price as well. Just
that wasn't because it went on sale.
No, but still, that's what I'm trying to say. It's still a sale. We can always argue the value of a game, but what I'm trying to say, it still went on sale.
Yeah, you're right.
All games would have went on sale because it was the Black Friday, Christmas window, should I say. So.
That's true.
Right. And if like Black Friday is around the corner, Christmas around the corner, they do spring sales, they do summer sales, like they have these sales every year. It's like nothing new. So like, hey, this game came out, whatever, Christmas time around, I'm about to cop this sale real quick.
JD, Assassin's Creed, I used to always buy it in the September, start of October, and then when the Black Friday sales rolled around, like 50% off. I was like, why couldn't I wait every time 5 weeks? I'm like, I know it's going to happen. But...
Yeah. Just like the Google sale. The Google phones comes out, and the Pixel phones comes out in the fall. And like, I think Samsung comes out in the fall, the Note, right? Or they used to be the Note. It's like, well, Black Friday... In a month, if you just wait, you get it on sale.
Yeah. Now, here's to be fair, I'm not the waiting guy, right? I like he said, he's talking about Sonic. He said he ain't lying. He was mad, right? But he said, but it is worth $59.99. Me, everything we're talking about, meaning we're privy to the knowledge that there's sales, there's this and that. I'm a day one guy, so I knew buying the God of War day one. That was the price of admission. So I feel like. You can wait or you don't have to wait, but you got to be able to accept it, right? But that's why, oh, well, I don't got my thing, but that's why I like to rent games, right? Because when I rent games, I rent the games I'm on the border. Like, for instance, Callisto Protocol looks dope, but it's a new IP. I don't know much about it. I just know the guy who made Dead Space made that. I wasn't into Dead Space, but it looks cool. But am I going to buy it just because it look cool? No, I'm going to rent it, right? So, it's just one of those things. But back to the actual tying it in, man, I just want to see, or like the people who complained about Sony, the Xbox, I want to see the first $70 Xbox game they buy. And we need to talk.
They got nothing to complain about. Guess what? You Game Pass subscriber, Xbox fans, you have nothing to complain about, because right now, just like the Cowboy said, when he rent games to try it out, guess what? You can do that with Game Pass.
Yeah.
Before Starfield comes out and you pay
Yep.
$70, you can play it and rent it out on Game Pass.
Yeah.
You have an extra advantage, right? Sony, we ain't got that.
Super. You don't got that.
We ain't got that over here, PlayStation. We ain't got that over here on the Switch game. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got a double advantage right there. So you can't say this is unfair, because you get to try the game and then buy it.
I'm the gamer that says, when PlayStation 6 comes out, say in 4 or 5 years, if God of War 5 came out, for example, and said the game's going to be $80, I'm telling you now, I'm down for it in 5 years.
I'm buying it.
As long as we live in wage, as long as the cost of living and my wage stays consistent with inflation, I'll be like, yeah, it's only a number to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm buying it.
I'll probably put 70 on Indiana Jones. Maybe if it looks good.
Okay.
It looks good right now. As far as Redfall, I don't know.
Like, comment, and subscribe. You see what Rose said?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Starfield, I'm not even to Starfield.
So you know what, Starfield. So what I want is I want to see Xbox come out, and it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I want to see them come out with a game that's popular. Because here's the thing. Video games, I always say it, video games is nothing but a popularity contest. So I would love to see them come out with a game next year and everybody's talking about it, like a God of War, right? I would love to see it. It would be cool, you know?
It'll probably end up being Indiana Jones.
I mean, God of War is a great franchise, but it didn't scare no one, did it? Didn't scare any of the platformers. The idea of Call of Duty going exclusive. Now that shook up the gaming industry.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I feel like, you know what I mean, it's not all about exclusives, because I feel like some exclusives barely sell 3 million, where some sell 20. You know, but
but I think exclusives is brand recognition, though. That's the reason why that's the top.
We can boast. Of course, it helps with premium branding, but overall, think how many games are sold per year, should I say that?
Oh no, most of it is the third-party games that sell your Call of Duties, your Fortnites, and things of that nature. Exclusive is just to, like you said, just to get somebody attracted to your platform, to hold you there and to say, hey, I have this exclusive games or these exclusive games. We saw what happened with Stadia. I was one of the ones that saying they needed exclusive games, and everybody was saying no, and I was like, all right, and they didn't have no exclusive game, and then what happened to Stadia? I'm telling y'all, exclusives matter as far as keeping, when you have a top-down platform, it helps in keeping that platform sustainable and alive during the
relevant
during the times where third party may be putting out crap. You know, these are just developers. They're not going to, you know, they can't stay on fire for years and years.
Right.
So
that's what people have to keep on saying. It can't be Sony and Microsoft, because they're their partners with developers. But people have to get a message across with these third parties and say it's the publishers setting the price, not anyone else. It's the publisher, and keep on emphasising that. So when the publishers come out like EA, they go, it's costs. So in the end, instead of just bashing the hardware manufacturer, everyone gets the message. It's affecting the gaming industry as a whole. So in the end, costs go up, and it falls on the consumer. But at least the consumer's got the option to either buy the game for $70 or wait or never buy it. No,
it's definitely true. It's like we need to realize that. So I feel like this, right? I want to stay in my lane. I'm a gamer, right? And I just want to buy a good game you make. Now, I can't dictate how much you're gonna charge for a game, right? Now, I hope the standard would be whatever it is, right? So, but the moment the standard is 70, which it seems to be, because I like to buy a lot of games on PlayStation, and all of a sudden another company comes out with a game is like, no, it's 85, and it's just a base game, then it's a problem, right? So I get where Microsoft fans might say, wait, we're used to paying 60, they did 70, they didn't do it, and then they do it. And I think that's the disconnect, because you're believing that one thing was giving you something another thing didn't. It's just that one thing was trying hard to keep your business, and eventually they're throwing money out the way trying to keep your business.
But Cowboy, you have to realize what the gamer has to realize is if people see God of War at $70, then see an Xbox game at 60, a lot of the people are going to say, "Ha, 60," because it's a crap game on a crap.
That is
platform.
true.
So in the end, you have to start saying we have to be competitive in price to make sure that our brands and our
brand recognition
stays as premium with PlayStation. Because once you start dropping the price, the majority won't see it as consumer friendly. They will start bashing it.
Now I got to do this. Here's the problem. The higher ups go on record and say that their games aren't as quality as PlayStation, and then 2 weeks later they're saying that their game's gonna go up in price. For me, the person looking looking in, like, hold up, didn't you just say? So wait, are you? Well, host is saying. So I'm saying, are you gonna charge me more for less? Because didn't you just admit? So that's another thing. So optics. So here's the thing. It's brand recognition. Remember, everybody was saying that this generation, Xbox is consumer friendly, right? They got Game Pass. Their games are coming on Game Pass, right? Then now it's like, man, they got to make that money. So now they're like, hey, our games aren't this quality. Now they're like, hey, we're going to charge more. And it's kind of like, wait, what happened to consumer friendly when you were giving me so much? But what JD said, you get what you pay for. So now it's kind of like,
I don't think there's nothing wrong saying to a competitor they are not given the best experience, but better quality. So use the word quality. And they're saying to their consumers or the people in the industry, if you want to have them quality in gaming, we have to admit as a company, we can't keep on developing games at $60 anymore. Neither can our partners. So maybe that's what they're trying to say. Now, we tried our best to be standing as the best consumer-friendly person, but they need the extra $10.
When PlayStation, Jim Ryan went on stage and said, listen, we cannot add our first-party games in our subscription because the quality of the game and the amount of money it takes to put out that quality, we wouldn't be able to do it. They said that. So now... go ahead, FK.
Wild speculation at y'all. Let's say the $70 thing was a concession on Xbox to PlayStation in order to get the Activision Blizzard deal passed.
Anything that happens, people are gonna think it might have something to do with that. Like people said, like, oh, the only reason why they said their games are less quality is because the Activision deal. So everybody's gonna throw that out there. I would think that's safe to say, you know.
No, I'm saying the reason why Microsoft's saying $70 games now is because it was a concession or a deal made out with Sony to get the Activision deal passed.
No, that wouldn't make sense though. What is Sony getting out of it?
That has nothing to do with Xbox Studios.
That's what they said. They might had to pass it with concessions. They had to make concessions.
No. So wait, if Microsoft Games raises,
they had to change things around.
But what does that do to benefit PlayStation? That PlayStation would say, if you raise your games, then I don't know. I'm trying to even draw.
I guess you're the concessions. Then you're considered competing to the court. Then
I thought the whole concession thing was actually Microsoft saying to countries, "We'll give you concessions if
the Epic Apple trial. Remember the Epic Apple
trial? Right, I remember.
Epic made a deal with Xbox. They told them to make every free-to-play game no subscription. No, you don't have to have gold. You can play it online for free.
Okay.
Like kind of like a concession or a deal made out like that on the side.
Yeah, well, let me hear what Holtz said. Holtz was trying to. What did you say, Holtz?
See, I thought the whole point with Microsoft saying they're going to make concessions was something to do with like the countries that they're trying to pass the law in, that they're going to give Microsoft or tax cuts or something like that within the Microsoft ecosystem. Then it was actually Microsoft trying to work with Sony. So I thought it was Microsoft trying to sweeten the deals with passing the laws in countries.
Right, like they already offered Call of Duty for 10 years.
No, but that has no effect on PlayStation.
Correct.
That has no effect. That has everything to do.
I'm just thinking about like maybe deals on the side, maybe behind the corner.
What concession I thought with passing the law? in countries was saying, like, for example, we'll give you Microsoft Business, or we'll give you Microsoft School education systems if you help us pass this law in this country. So it's got nothing to do with Sony. I feel like it was just Microsoft working with the lawmakers to sweeten the deal to say yes.
Yeah, and plus it doesn't. Yeah. And plus, it doesn't do anything with Microsoft because Microsoft doesn't own Call of Duty at this point right now. And so for them to increase prices for their first party games, that's pretty outside the scope.
Yeah. Also, I want to say this real quick. So Mr. Urban Roll was saying that PCs don't have exclusives, which I hear that. But remember, PCs, it's the platform is exclusive, right? They could do things that you can't do anywhere else, like modding and all this extra stuff. So I think having a PC is kind of like exclusivity when it comes to the realm of video games. So I don't really think that's why I don't feel like they need exclusives, because when you get a PC, you could tinker, you could do things. That's what draws people in. It's not that, oh, PC has this game. It's that, look what I can do with my games. The same game you could have on a console, but look what I could do with it on a PC. So I think when you think of PCs, we don't need to get into, well, PCs are doing good and they don't have exclusives, because it's a different ball game.
Right. And I want to jump in and say, so when we're talking about quality, right now, we all got our own personal opinions and what type of games that we play. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to matter to the gamer. But when we're talking about in the system of gaming arena, when you see the press, when you see the articles, when you see statistics and business deals made, there is a value placed there on quality, right? So there's a separation between me and the quality standard that I have and everybody else on this panel versus the gaming industry standards of quality that we're talking about. So when we say we want to see Xbox compete on Sony level, when we start bringing out the stats, where the Game Awards been out since 2013, and Xbox first party studios have had not one Game of the Year nomination. Forget a Game of the Year award or nomination for a Game of the Year since 2013.
No, none of the Gears ever been on there? Because when Gears was popping, that was before that.
That was before that, since 2013, right?
Gears 5 was 8 years ago.
Huh?
Was Gears 5 8 years ago?
No, not for I had to send y'all that. Since 2013, they have not had a Game of Year nominee.
That's crazy.
Nomination.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. So when we talk about industry standards, not my standard, not everybody else's standard, industry standards when competing, Nintendo and Sony is killing it. And when Phil Spencer comes out and say our games are not the quality, it's not the same quality as the PlayStation games, he's not lying. He's not BS. He is literally saying, and I saw him on a recent interview. He, even with the COVID, he said, "I know COVID, stuff happened with developers, but that's not an excuse." Phil Spencer is saying COVID is not an excuse for the way Halo came out.
You know why? Hold up, I'm gonna tell you why. And so he said, "LLJD don't unload, he giving Cowboy more ammo." Hell yes, he is. Oh man, I got a video for you. But listen. Here's to be honest with you though, man, when you think of the games, right, it's some Xbox fans. So here's what happens when you go against stuff, right? And I said this it is for what it is. When I was getting burnt out with Stadia, because I'm a gamer first. And when I finally got fed up with Stadia, I was like, bro, I need games. And the games was lacking, right? So at the end of the day, it's about games. Now, here's the thing with fans. I'm just going to say it for what it is. I know so many. I said this to Purple the other day. I said there was too many people that was like, we don't care what games we play. And I'm like, you can't do that because Google may be like, you know what? We got people who are okay. They're okay dealing with these games we're giving them on Pro, right? All right, so we're getting off of that. I just wanted to bring that up, right? We see what happened. So there's so many people I know. Well, no one wants these on my Xbox fans. No one wants these walk-in simulators. No one wants to play a movie. No, somebody said, "Oh, you'll like God of War because it's like a Marvel movie." Oh, that's a compliment. That's not, and he was trying to be funny, but that's a compliment. So when you're saying we don't need those, we just want shooters, we just want multiplayers. Yes, trust me, I spend more money on multiplayers than I do on single players. But single player story driven games, and those are typically the games that win Game of the Year. I'm not saying Game of the Year is the end all be all, but this is what is considered quality in the industry standard, as JD is talking about. So those are the games that grab attention. So when you got an audience of players like, we don't care about those games, like, you're setting the wrong, obviously I'm not saying they're going to listen to everything.
When did they change the messaging that Game of the Year wasn't the be all and end all? Because runner up, the game that gets number one is the game of the year. Everyone else is just runners up, so we don't really clap.
Well, if you care about the game of the year, because some people don't even watch it. Some people couldn't tell you what game ever won.
Right. But we're talking about like in the gaming industry, right? Because these developers, they're working, right? They're working just like a corporation, right? And when they get these awards, when they get these acceptance speeches, whatever, it doesn't have to be the game industry award. It could be another side, whatever, anybody that's giving out awards, right? That just makes your team look great. Like, oh man, my team is really great. We got to accept it. We got an award. We got a commendation for this. Or IGN gave gave us an award on our top 10 game of the year list. That's prestigious. That are things that devs are looking for. But when people want to say, to Cowboy's point, like, oh, we don't care if it's the game of the year. We don't care if it got this award. We don't. The person that's working, that sound designer, that engineer, they care.
Yeah, they care. Yeah, that's a big deal. If they game, dude, the developers for Stray. This is their first game, and it's a nominee. They got to be like, that's a big deal for them in the industry.
But what I was actually leading to is like, is there console bias? For example, say God of War loses.
Okay.
I'd say Xenoblade Chronicles 3 actually wins, Switch exclusive. Okay. There's going to be people out there that go, never, not my PlayStation game, never with that child's toy that's on the Switch.
No, not really, because last year
that they don't appreciate the gaming industry as a whole because they've got their fan bias of the device. So in the end, I feel that the Game of Year awards, whatever accolade it gets, should be respected in the industry and by consumers. It's all right to sit there and say, "Oh well, I thought my game was going to win. I expect it."
Yeah.
There's going to be people out there that will say, because it wasn't on their system, they're going to bash that game, and that's why I was actually saying.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I get that. Yeah,
but it's fair. I mean, it's fair. I mean, like, that's what we do. Is entertainment. It's like,
that's what we do.
My team won. My team won this year. Your team lost this year. Okay, and that game gets respect and it gets a little hate on the side, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be in our minds like, oh man, like man, they don't need to have a game of the year. Xbox doesn't need to have. Nintendo and Sony, they can have that. Xbox, we're over here, we're cool and we're chilling, we got the value. Like, they don't need it. No, Xbox need to strive to compete.
Yeah.
In the manner of the industry.
I think they thought they was getting a fast one because the Game Pass got so popular. That's the thing. No, I'm about to, explain to the people what I'm about to pull up, JD.
You about to pull up the Game of the Year list since 2013.
Okay, so here we go. So this is the Game of the Year list. Now, I thought last year Forza was a racing game, but wasn't that nominated for Game of the Year? And I was like, wait, what?
This is considered in a racing, but not overall Game of the Year.
Because for some reason I thought, okay. So let's look at it. So 2013, right? What's that? The Last of Us? Man, it's 2024. That's a Mario game. 2014. Yep. So these are because these I get it. So we got all right. So Game of the Year, we got Sony, Nintendo, Xbox. These are nominees. Okay. 2013, we got The Last of Us. We got a Mario game. 2014, we got I don't know what the hell that is, but it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Here, we do it like this.
Bayonetta 2.
Okay, so 2015 we got is that Bloodborne?
Bloodborne.
Yep.
Super
And
Mario
then,
Maker.
okay, so that's Nintendo, Sony. 2016, that's Uncharted.
Yep.
2017.
We got Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda, and Horizon.
Okay. 2018, God of War, Spider-Man. 2019, Death Stranding.
Yep.
And
Super Smash.
okay.
Brothers.
2020, The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and
Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah, Animal Crossing. That's right, Animal Crossing. 2021, Ratchet and Clank, Metroid, and 2022, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Damn.
But we're not saying that they did win accolades, didn't they, in other categories?
Yes.
They just never won the title game of the year, should I say?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not the end all be all, but
yeah, it's not the end all be all, but it's the competition. It's like I want to see Xbox. If you're a true Xbox fan, like I was, and people want to say I hate on Xbox, no, I had an Xbox. I had a 360.
Mm-hmm.
I love Halo.
So did I.
I still have Game Pass. I'm using Game Pass. I love the platform, but they're just not competing. They just haven't been competing. They're doing everything as they can now to buy up the developers and buy up studios and get these games and do this stuff. So I don't want to hear about let's wait to the next E3. Let's wait to next year. Like I'm tired. Like 2013 to 2023. Like that's a whole decade, bro. Like give me
so
that will make me invest for me. For my
money. K9 is one of the biggest Xbox supporters that I personally know. So what's going on, K9? He is in the building. He asked what is this for, and Roomba did a great job. He explained it right there, perfect. I can't explain it any better than he said. That is great. I know this is probably a hard pill for you to swallow, K9, because you are a big fan and you put your chest out first with Xbox carved in it. And so this hasn't been a good year for Xbox at all. But you know, at the end of the day, I think Xbox, all the studios and stuff. Hold on. He said also Halo 4 was nominated in 2012. Okay.
Right. You said 2013.
oh yeah. Damn. Yeah, he went back some ways.
I mean, I shouldn't have to go back past 10 years. I shouldn't. If you competing, I shouldn't have to go back no more than 3 years for me.
Well, wait. So when did the Game Awards start?
2013.
So this is the Game Awards. So this is when it was on Spike TV when it came out, because I remember, bro. I used to. All right. So 2012. What is he talking about? What is like an Xbox? What was that? A couple of guys sitting around in a room throwing paper planes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
Before 2012.
Yeah, jump on it.
We said this last Game of Year Awards that we was trying to say last year that Microsoft did have specific genres that they beat PlayStation at, and PlayStation had certain genres that outshined. And I just feel like the Game of the Year award is more action, like you said, action, narrative, single player. Yeah. So in the end, some people do actually feel, well, like maybe a multiplayer should have won, maybe a racer or a fighter should have won, but do we actually see them in Game of the Year awards?
Well, so the cool thing is Game of the Year. Go ahead.
To his point, he said Halo 4 was nominated for Game of the Year, and that's a multiplayer game as well. Like Halo Infinite could have been on there. They got a single player and a multiplayer.
That is true.
They could have been on there as well.
Yeah,
and The Last of Us 1 has a multiplayer component. 2013. That's a multiplayer, and Super Mario Maker has a multiplayer component as well.
So I just feel like that to some people actually be genre biased in the Game of the Year. So when they actually see like an RPG like Xenoblade, or they see a game like on Animal Crossing, did they actually go, them games should never be there because it should all be about
but you know what's cool though? At the end of the day, we may say that as fans, right? But there's still, I love what JD said. He said there's an industry standard, right? So we could sit here all we want and be like, well, you know, my game, your game, but there's certain people selected to do these votes and put these games. And what JD said, he just said nominated, right? He didn't say when, right? So, and Doc, thanks for coming back. So this list, if you guys are here just popping in, this list is the this is the Game of the Year awards since it started. Now, again, we're just talking about the Game of the Year awards, the one that started on Spike TV, the one that, for me, it's the biggest awards. When I think of the Game of the Year awards, they got a bunch of them. They got local ones, they got ones all over, but this to me is the cream of the crop.
But
to me.
Do you know what's so funny about this chart is the chart could actually say in the last decade of gaming, which would have took us to 2012, which would have had Xbox.
No, but this makes sense though.
No, but what the person done, they've done 9 years to
No.
cut.
No. This is what's fair. That's why I had to ask. That's why when he said 2012, I asked a question. I said, "Oh wait, when did the Game of the Year start?" He said it started in 2013. So this, we could go 100 years, right? It just depends on. Yeah, this is. I missed that part too. I missed it too. So this is every single Game of the Year, and Microsoft never had one of their first party studios nominated for Game of the Year.
This one is not what used to be called the Golden Joystick Awards.
No,
this isn't, because Game of the Year, the title Game of the Year, has been going for years. This is a specific event, like E3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holtz, remember last year? Holtz, wasn't you on the panel? Remember I streamed it last year? Yes. I'm actually, just so you know, Holtz, I'll be doing it this Thursday because it's this Thursday. So if you're free, jump on, let's laugh, joke.
To me, I thought Game of the Awards been going. It was just a set event that's been going over decades.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was on a certain channel, and that's how it built up.
Yeah, it was. Yep, it was on Spike TV, and then now it's on the internet. Yeah.
Yep. And I think people pour money into it to help get it started and stuff. Like there was a bunch of I don't know if I doubt it was Kickstarter, but I'm pretty sure they had some donations try to get.
I don't know, bro, because it started off. So reason why it caught my attention, I remember watching the commercials for it. It started off with actors reading the awards. They're having bands playing, big bands you've heard of. So it was the glitz, the glamours, the pyros, the you name it, right? So it's the biggest thing as far as if you look at the Super Bowl or if you look at WrestleMania, it is that, man, it has that presence, where you might hear like I remember last year Returnal won Game of the Year, but it was in this UK awards, right? It was oh cool, look at Returnal, it did win Game of the Year, but
BAFTAs.
Yeah, there you go. Returnal won, right?
Right.
So
they can have, like I said, they can have many different awards, and it's where's Xbox Microsoft Game Studios in this? Right. As far as the industry is concerned.
Yeah. Well, let me do this. Let me bring in none other than my guy. We actually got to meet this past summer when I went on vacation. One of the most illest Xbox fans there is, and also an iller gamer. None other than K9 is in the building. K9, what is going on, man?
Yo, hey, what up, K9? I'm gonna let you get your shine on. I'm gonna have to go. I got a podcast starting in 5 minutes.
Oh man, sorry about that, man. Thanks for joining. JD, tell the people how they can find you, man. Oh, I think he just went out.
Yo. Why they always leave? They always leave at that point.
I was
they be scared, bro. Look, man. This all I wanted to come in and say.
All right, let's do it.
If you fuck with the video game awards, cool. At some point, you gotta start talking with logic though. Look at all of those games up there. You're lying to yourself if you yourself actually think that all of those games was Game of the Years. Truthfully, Game of the Years, right? It could be some games in there that you like. My thing is people put so much behind that where it's so many games that nobody done played. So people let other people dictate to them what should be considered a Game of the Year, which to me as a gamer is fucking pathetic. You're pathetic if you allow people who you don't even know, who most of these people are playing their games on very easy. Some of these people don't even have the skill set to play certain games, and they tell people what they deem acceptable as
So here's
gamers.
the thing. Okay, now I hear that, but they're
Hold on, hold on,
but
hold on. Let me
okay.
get this out too.
Mm-hmm.
People are also selective of what they consider will be game of the year, right?
True.
Like who's to say a fighting game can't be game of the year, but they don't allow a fighting game to be game of the year, right? There's some people who put more time into something like a Mortal Kombat 11 than they would ever put into any of those games up there. Mortal Kombat 11 got a story mode. Mortal Kombat 11 got all of that. A game like Killer Instincts, I can look at this list and be like, when's the last time PlayStation came out with a fighting game? When? What PlayStation? PlayStation. We can point fingers and we can make jokes and stuff like that, but looking at this chart, it's pathetic. It's literally, this is a game awards that is hosted by somebody who is literally a PlayStation fanboy. It has no problem like showing that. He admits it. He knows, like, he's a PlayStation fanboy at heart. So I'm just saying, like, when I hear people like that who's like, yo, we just want Xbox to compete. Well, in 2013, was people playing Rise on their own?
Yes.
No, you played it, Hawks. But what I'm saying is social media was all against Rise on the Rome, right?
Yes.
Now, if you're telling me that in 2013, Rise on the Rome was doing stuff that God of War is getting commended for in 2018, I would think that the Rise on the Rome would be more revolutionary, right? No, in 2013, in 2000, don't go backwards. Don't go backwards. If we're going into a new generation of gaming, and they're like, "Well, here go Rise on the Rome." I'm not talking about 5 years later down the road. I'm talking about in 2013. You're coming off of the 360. Here's Rise on the Rome. In 2013, here's Killer Instincts. In 2000, you was I don't even know, Cowboy, if you played a game like Quantum Break, like. There's different type of games out there that Xbox was putting, like, that they was pushing out that nobody was getting behind.
The thing is, it's unfortunate, right? It is what it is. And I think just Room got a good point. He said it's 100 judges and it's not Jeff Keighley. But the thing is, TK bringing up history. The thing is, the game just has to be that compelling, right? And I always say it. Video games is a popularity contest, right?
Look at Death Stranding.
Okay.
Look at Death Stranding on that list. Nobody. Look at God of War 2018 being on that list. To me, when I look at all of the critiques that people talk about in God of War 2018 now, when they're talking about God of War Ragnarok, that game had no business being on that list in 2018. If people are playing God of War Ragnarok right now, and they're talking about all of the critiques that they had with God of War 2018, that game had no business being on that list.
All right, so let me speak. So I don't know what people you're talking about. I played both. I played and beat both, right?
I agree, Carl, because I've been on this panel before, and even though I loved God of War Ragnarok, I do feel like it was too similar. I've always said it was like a sidestep. It wasn't the next iteration of God of War.
No. What he's saying is he felt God of War 2018 shouldn't have been on the list because now people got all these critiques on it. But at the time when it come out, so we don't got a time machine, but at the time it came out, I feel it did everything it needed to do to be on the list and win, right? Now you could say now
what was that though?
It won. I get the 3 pillars, right? The graphics was great when it came out. The gameplay was great, and it had a great story. That's all. I'm telling you. That's why it's gonna be Elden Ring, because Game of the Year. To look at the games, they typically are story-driven games. Yes, you mentioned fighting games. That's why they got fighting game category. That's why they got racing game category. So that's just how I didn't make the rules, but that's how it goes, right?
Okay, so right there, that shit's pointless.
Why is it pointless?
So what you're telling me is there's developers who put out games in different genres, and just because they don't give you 70% of cinematic scenes, they should be excluded. At the end of the day, it's a game.
But if a fighting game is in fighting game of the year, if you win fighting game of the year, that's still great, right? I don't think I mean, who like even Sifu. Sifu's on fighting game, right? I'm like, who screwed that up? That game isn't a fighting game,
Bro, that
right? So
just
that
shows how lost they are. Like how unimportant this whole thing is. You have a Call of Duty
Mhm.
in action, right? Now, me, I would just think like, oh, action, you know,
Okay,
action adventure. I'm thinking more of like, hack and slashes and stuff like that. Hell, you can even put Sifu
right.
in there. I would think that Call of Duty would be more in a first person shooter, multiplayer type thing, right?
Hmm.
Um, when you look at Sifu, that has no business being in fighting game of
Yeah,
the year,
not at
right?
all.
The fact that they even put God of War and they'll put games like Elden Ring in other categories. So what I'm saying
Hmm.
is fighting games shouldn't just be okay, it's just fighting game. That's it. When fighting games can be better than those story games that you like that these narrative walking simulator like
Well,
cinematic games.
I think the way when you look at you break down the game and what they're going by to make that game of the year, I think that's when fighting games will fall
Well,
short in that category.
to me, it's like I said this last year. I think Forza Horizon 5 should have won last year, and it never got nominated for Game of the Year.
Hmm.
But in the end, I put so many hours in that. The mechanics, the graphics, the single player story was all great.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I understand what TK's saying. Why couldn't a genre specific game like that be nominated? It just, I mentioned this before, it just seems to be leading into more narrative action games that sort of fill in that category.
Yeah,
And to me,
yeah.
Holtz, that shouldn't be the highlight of games. Like gamers now are so they're embarrassing now. I remember back in the day when we really didn't want gaming to become this mobile Hollywood blockbuster type thing. And
Count
now you
back.
look at us now, and that's the main thing we talk about is like mobile like games that you could play on your phone, or it's this cinematic
Mhm.
70% cutscenes, barely any gameplay, and that's considered game of the year. That's embarrassing. That's
So
embarrassing to where we are now as
here's the
gamers.
thing. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, man, I don't make the rules. You don't either. You just
Oh no,
gotta
yeah, I
eat
don't
it. You
care
just
about
gotta eat
no,
it,
no,
right?
I don't care. I don't care
Yeah.
about somebody who's hosting an award who couldn't even take a
Mhm.
round off of me in a fighting game. I don't care about somebody who
Right.
probably plays his games on easy and is trying to tell somebody what game of the year
Right.
should be. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
but I think what you're getting lost, like Rune said, that got one person isn't making what game of the year.
No, yeah, but it's
You're caught up on an individual, and you're
no, no,
saying
no.
it's like I heard somebody say when Phil said um somebody said that's his opinions. That's saying Xbox games aren't at the same quality. I'm like, hey, listen, that's it. You could say that.
So,
That's
so
his
TK,
opinion, right?
if you were on the panel, would you actually filter like a metric counting system where you say the difficulty plays a factor in the experience? Then you would also say the gameplay percentage to cinematic should be factored in as well. Would you accept like a 50-50 split? Would you accept what?
What about cinematics?
Yeah, cinematics versus
Gameplay would
gameplay.
be at the
If you were a
forefront.
judge, so if you were a judge, would you accept 50-50? Or would you accept that gameplay has to be more than cinematics?
Gameplay has to be more than cinematics.
Would you say that to bring experience to games, you would have to have a multitude of difficulty levels to express an
You will have
experience?
to. Yeah, no, you will have to because you can easily play. See, this is the difference. You can play a game on easy, and a lot of
Yeah.
people who play games on like very easy or easy, it's just too technically experienced the story, which means that I look at it like most of the time, normal is how the developers intended for you to play the game. Right now, it's your option if you feel like the game is too much at that difficulty, you can drop it, or if you feel like you're one of those gamers who need more of a challenge, you can raise the bar. Normal is normally how they want you to experience the game. So I would say at least the normal experience will have to be played. Um, you can go from there and see pretty much how the game was because if you play a game on easy, let's just say it's like a hack and slash, right? the enemies adapt so quick, you might not be able to experience what the combat system really has to offer. You get what I'm saying? Because by the time you can actually get certain things going, the enemy's already dead.
Well, see, we were on Rock Players show last week. They were talking about one-shot kills in military games. That a lot of people look at Call of Duty and other shooting games and frown on them because they're not realistic like other military shooters you'll actually see on PC. So there was a lot of gamers that actually frowned that if it wasn't a one-shot kill, it wasn't a real shooting game. But I feel like I wouldn't tune in and play a game if it wasn't like Halo or wasn't like Call of Duty to me. So in the end, I like that style of playing, and I would never play a one-shot kill. And the developer actually said that what they do is they put mechanics in place where the AI could have killed you, but it'll pretend the bullet ricocheted somewhere to make you feel empowered. But in the end, the AI could have killed you. But
but see, they have those modes up there. Like I know Call of Duty, they have like a one-shot kill mode, and I don't even play Call of Duty.
The point I'm trying to say is even the one-shot kill, he was trying to say there's mechanics in place where the AI could have killed you, but to make you feel special with a one-hit kill, the bullet will go somewhere else and blame it on the character's shot. In the end, because they know that if a true one-hit kill game, it'll be too frustrating for everyone, should I say?
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's hardcore mode is the Call of Duty mode with
the hardcore. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's when you will bump the difficulty up if you want that challenge. I feel like normal is where most developers that's the experience that they go for.
Well, TK, come on, in like a game like Mortal Kombat, say you were like a puncher and I just went like that and grappled your shoulder blade and disconnected it and it couldn't use your left arm. Would you want a game like that where you can just go?
They had games like that. They had you had a game like Tao Fang.
Yeah,
like and you could injure limbs and stuff like that. And
that was poorly done though. But
stuff. But you know it never got revisited. But yeah, I mean it all depends on the game. Like games are supposed to be meant for different people. The problem this generation is everybody want to be a part of the conversation. I wish devs would focus on creating their games for their core audiences and not giving a fuck about what anybody else has to say. We would have better games out right now if instead of them trying to be for everybody, they stuck to being for a core audience. No, right, but that's hurting games more than helping games, and that's why the games that are smaller titles, but they do stick to their core audiences, they do so well. And even though they might not be like #1 sellers or anything like that, they're supported. They're supported by their fans.
Yeah, but here's the hard thing, and I know you want to jump in there, FCAT. The hard thing is, and I always say my motto, I never tell another man not to make money. Businesses are made to make a profit. So the problem is just the way the industry is going, right? Not the gamers are going, right? So if you get newer gamers that like look at Fortnite. Fortnite is killing, right? So a lot of companies like, hey, let's make a way to keep making money. So when we was playing games on cartridges, you got a legit solid game of creativity. That's kind of going out the window, and it's more how can I keep somebody playing, right? So one, I think what Host is saying is if something was super hard, everybody wouldn't be playing. That's why Souls games are a niche game, and that's why Elden Ring was such a big deal, because Elden Ring was like they said, was the least hard of the ones. So even me, I was playing Elden Ring like, dude, I might actually buy this. It ain't that hard, right? So at the end of the day, I get your point, but I also get that they're trying to make this money, and so
but but see, I don't give a fuck about them. I care.
Yeah, because you also never made a video game. Hold on real quick. You also never had to pay your bills from making a video game, so you don't care because you're on the other side. You're a consumer. You want what you want. So do I. But these people. Yeah, they're trying to make this money now, right? Same thing with Microsoft. I'm pretty sure the games are going to be $70 because they probably realize, at the end of the day, the lights got to stay on. But
I don't give a fuck. Once again, that's them. At the end of the day, you don't work for Xbox. You don't work for PlayStation.
I don't.
You don't work for any of them. So you shouldn't give a fuck. At the end of the day, I'm a consumer. The same way how right now, you like God of War how you like it, right? I
Right.
don't like God of War how it is, right? But
Hmm.
you're the one who just paid $70 for it. They need to
Right.
focus on pleasing you, right? Don't listen to me. Don't take it back to the
Right.
hack and slash or whatever because you like that shit. I don't like the shit. I'm
Right.
not buying it no more. What these companies need to do though, they can still give you your little cinematic games that you like or
Hmm.
whatever. Sometimes I play them myself, but but what I'm saying is gaming will be better if everybody want a critic and people like if the developers focused on their core audience. Focus on your core audience instead of trying to bring everybody in because once you try to bring everybody in, you get people who already don't like your type of game. And now
Right.
they're going to be the same people who yes, sometimes you might get lucky and you will have an Elden Ring, but a lot of times you end up getting those people who you shouldn't have brought in, and now they make your game look bad. So now you look stupid anyway because you didn't make money. Your game end up being a flop because you tried to appeal to people who won't even
Right.
interested in your shit to begin with. Point blank
But
period.
no one has a crystal ball. So all I'm saying is, I get if they was trying to make that extra money and they was trying to bring in a larger audience. Listen, if they hit the mark, then it'd be a different story. People would be like, "Damn, I can't believe this isn't the same game." You'll have all these new people like, "Bro, this game's legit," and you be like, "Man, back in the day, I used to love." It's like when I was a big Resistance fan. I love Part One, Part Two. I still feel like I never played a multiplayer game like that, mode like that, right? Part Three, I was like, "Bro, they're just trying to be Call of Duty," so it did turn me off. I was like, they got the martyrdom things when you die. Now that little bugs come out like the Call of Duty when you die, somebody fall and hit the ground, the explosions. I was like, but I get what they was trying. So here's my thing. What I'm saying is ignorance is bliss. But if you have knowledge, like you're a gamer, what I'm saying is when people get their feelings hurt is because they're ignoring the facts, right? I'm more of a logic guy and not an emotion guy. So for me, listen, change the game. Maybe I can't get the game I want. I ain't gonna knock your hustle because you trying to bring in them. Now I might be like, dude, that's dumb, but I get it. Or I feel like on your side, you'll be more burnt and bent out of shape because you don't get there trying to make money because you only care about you, which is fine. But I'm just saying with the knowledge, hey, I get the hustle, so it is what it is.
You would still make money. The thing
Mm-hmm.
is, not everybody has to be that number one seller. Actually, you'll
Right.
probably end up making more money by focusing on your core audience.
Mm-hmm.
In comics, right? It's this comic called Zombie Tramp, right? Most motherfuckers won't even know what the hell Zombie Tramp is, right? But because they're more focused on Marvel and DC. Right now, Zombie Tramp is being pretty much published by Kickstarters or whatever, right? Do you
Mm-hmm.
know how much motherfucking money this dude makes off of his backers on Kickstarter just because he sticks, he don't do that. And Hawks look like he know what I'm talking about. He don't do that SJW bullshit, that woke
Yes, the
shit.
woke stuff,
He
yeah.
focus on his audience, and you know what? He is Hawks. You see, I'm pretty sure if you saw his recent backers and stuff, he is good. That boy is good. He makes way over the amount
But
when the
you
shit
said
first.
is he one person?
It's him and his girl.
Okay,
Him and his girl and a couple other
if he
people.
had a studio with 100 people, they might
No,
not
no,
be
it's not
good.
that many.
So
No, 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 no,
TK,
no.
Yeah.
should that be an approach for developers? So like the developer of like the Order 1886, if they went, okay, we can't make this game because it's not popular, but if you crowdfund it, we will develop it for you. Do you think that should be a way in the
I
industry?
yeah, yes. And I would accept that a lot more because if you look at it, look at a game like Shantae the Genie, right? Shantae the Genie isn't this crazy big franchise, but
Right.
anything that comes out with that girl, I lie to you not, the core audience goes to it just like that or whatever. So I would be fine with that host. Actually, I mean, that's kind of what happened with Psychonauts too. And look at what happened. It got nominated for a game of the year or whatever.
Sure.
But Psychonauts 2 was an actual good game also. Like it checked it checked everything. And that was funded by the actual gamers. Another game, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Another one, crap. You stick to your core or it's common sense. It's common sense. Stop trying to bring in everybody who's the game ain't
I
made
think
for them.
so. I just think the thing is so I never made a game, right? But if I was making a game, I think it would be cool if your game would be I'm not saying those games aren't successful, but if your game became like a big hit, right? A
Nah.
big, a big game. Now, listen, you take what you could get, but I think a company's trying to make themselves bigger than what they could be. I mean, listen, give them credit. If they fail, they fail. But I guess it's hard because I'm selfish like too, right? I want what I want, but I won't knock if they say, you know what? What if we tweak some stuff and we could grab other people? Listen, man, do you? If it succeed, then they made a smart choice. Now they might lose some core fans, but if they could pull in a bigger audience, then good for them. Now they might lose a great game that the history and time, you'll be like, remember that game? And you might never see a game like that again. But
Cowboy, we just mentioned Resistance and Killzone, and both me and you would love that franchise to be resurrected. But
oh man, yeah.
In that case, should developers just say leave it in the bin because no one wants it, only apart from Cowboy and Holtz?
I think, yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. See, here's my thing. I get the selfish gamer. But with logic, listen, if they did a survey and a consensus, again, I worked at a market research company for 20 years. If they did a survey and consensus and the overwhelming majority was like, man, this game came back, we'll be into it. If they got like 20% of the old fans are like, we would love it, no, then leave it alone. But if you can resurrect it and it becomes something special, you can make a lot of money for the company, then resurrect it. But if not, it's just going to be a little side project, a love letter to the old fans. Then leave it alone, unless you don't mind making that money. But listen, these games aren't free. So unless you could say, if we made a 30% profit off of what we paid out, that's good enough for us just to make a love letter to the fans, then go ahead, right? But if they're like, no, if what we want to make and the budget is too big, and if the consensus shows that only 30% want it, and our research shows 70% need to be behind it, then you got to leave it alone. But people don't think of that. People just think Migraine was great back in the day, and they need to keep it to that. I mean, it would be nice, but if the money ain't there, the money ain't there. I mean, that's just reality and logic. But I do get wanting, my favorite game is Prototype.
It goes against those polls. The like what people be talking about, like, we're gonna do this poll and see if people are interested. Those polls don't mean shit. Those polls don't mean shit, bruh. I know with the Suicide Squad 2, so many people said, yo, get James Gunn, do this, and we're gonna go support it, right? All the polls said they was gonna support it. The first Suicide Squad that got horrible reviews did extremely better than Suicide Squad 2. For all of those people who did those polls said, oh yeah, we're going to support this, or whatever. Nobody supported this shit. You got to realize right now, this isn't back in the day where it was like adults are really the ones who had access to certain things and stuff like that. Do you know how many kids who don't even have a fucking job and ain't buying shit also be included in these polls?
Yeah, but I think the thing is with research, like when I did market research, right? Let's say we wanted 30 doctors. You had to at least put out 1,000. No, hear me out. No, if you wanted 30 doctors, you had to put out at least 1,000 facts, right? Because the amount of people that's going to be on these polls, like with Stadia, I used to say it all the time. They petition in Elden Ring. I guarantee probably 70% of them don't even like Souls games. So you have to look at those numbers. Like, you can't just say like, oh, we got 70. You have to also put the margin of how many people filling out these polls is definitely not going to be a part of it.
Xbox coming into the Xbox One generation looked at the margin over the TV shit, right? Look at what happened to them, right? There is so many, like, the way you think it sets you up to fail, because you're better off. Like, if you look at back in the day, people didn't have all of these people telling them what to play and stuff like that. We have our own experiences in so many games we cherish from our childhood because we didn't have everybody just bringing down every game. Like, do you know how many games would probably be considered trash if the internet was like how it is today back then? Do you know how many games probably wouldn't even get a second chance?
That's true.
So I mean, it's just one of those things. I would think if I'm a developer, I would actually want the game. I would want to make the game that I want to make. And there's multiple articles that come out now showing that most of these developers are being told what game they have
That
to make
sucks.
instead of being able to make the game that they
Right.
want to make. So, like Holtz was saying, if they can do it, if developers are getting to the point where they're like, yo, fuck that, yo, I want to make this game for the people who want this type of game. If y'all want me to you know, like I could start this Kickstarter, blah 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 blah, and we can make this game or whatever. Like I would definitely support that. There's a bunch of indie stuff that I support.
Yeah,
But
I
then
mean that's the thing is those games. Sadly enough, most of them just stay as an indie game, right? So if they're cool with that, remember, then the Stadia community, I gotta give Google credit. I don't know if you noticed or not. Google actually allowed this guy. His name is Evan. So he is the guy who makes the what's those games? They're like Resident. It's like a love letter to the original Resident Evils, right? Now,
yeah,
some people,
outbreak.
yeah, the outbreaks. Now, some people said they're the outbreak games, right? So I actually interviewed Evan, right? So Google allowed him to do a Kickstarter, and the game wasn't. Remember, Kickstarter doesn't mean the game's going to happen. It's maybe, maybe not. They allowed his demo to be on Stadia, so people could actually play it and see it without knowing that the game is going to be there or not. So I definitely, and for him, he's like, yo, you know, he was trying to get people to be a part of the Kickstarter, get his name out there, let people learn about it in the cloud gaming, and I get it. And even 2 weeks ago, he was back in the community talking about, yes, it sucks that Stadia went under, but he's still working on a newer game for it to be a AAA version, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, I definitely get that. But I don't know if Evan's going to ever have, and maybe he don't care, right? Like you're saying, maybe that's just going to be a love letter to the fans. It's going to be just this indie game that was a few, you know, it was great to those people who liked it. And maybe that's all it needs to be. And like he said, dude, it's paying his bills so him and his wife is actually able to do this, right? But again, he said him and his wife. So when we start talking about these bigger games that's on this list, this ain't no mom and pop thing. These are where, remember, there's the developers and there's a publisher. And the publisher is like, listen, this game needed to be out on November 11th. Remember, Starfield date was November 11th, right? It needs to be out. And it's like, bro, how are we going to do that? They get into a snag, but you got an overhead. So it sucks that these games probably can't be what some people like you or me would want them to be. But
right, but they
that's
still
just
can. Like fuck the publishers or whatever.
so
No. Look, hold on, let me tell you this.
I don't know about that, bro.
No.
Go ahead.
Boy. When I first started getting tattoos, right, I used to go around and I used to always like I was told that Blue Horseshoe down here was the best one to go to, right? I was told Blue Horseshoe. So Blue Horseshoe down here was like, yo, everybody, you know, like Blue Horseshoe is the most popular one, blah 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 blah. I went to Blue Horseshoe. My first tattoo they did cool. It was the sensei on my neck. The second tattoo they fucked up, right? I had to go back, get it redone. The dude still kind of fucked up. Then I had to go back again, right? After that, I went to this shop called Ancient Art. It was Ancient Art. I went there. It was kind of like in the like a little hole in the wall type shop, right? It was kind of like a little hole in the wall shop. But at that point, I was trying to get pricing on tattoos, and how Blue Horseshoe worked. They would have this circle scale, and you would take the picture that you want done, and they'll put the picture in the circle, and depending on like whatever circle that picture would fit in, that would be the price. So you could get like a small I mean, you could get like a simple tattoo, but if it was kind of big and it felt if like filled out their circle, you'll end up paying like probably like $500-$600 for the tattoo, right? But I went to Ancient Art, and I was asking the dude, I was like, yo, bro, how much would you charge me to do like a Chung Li and a Mai or whatever like that, right? Like I was like, I want Chung Li and Mai on me and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, shit. He was like, bro, man, I'll do that for you for like 100. Like I was like, what? I was like, I was like, hold on, what? And then, you know, like I'm new to getting tattoos at this point. And I was like, yo, I don't want to be funny, but are you good at doing tattoos? And he was like, bro, let me tell you something about the tattoo shop. He was like, those people who work at Blue Horseshoe is just like me. They just got hired there. He was like, I used to work there. He was like, and then I left there and I work here now. He was like, when I was at Blue Horseshoe, I was one of their best tattoo artists or whatever, right? And I was like, oh shit, all right. So I set up the, you know, I told him, I said, I'll be back tomorrow. or whatever, we could get this junk done. He did that tattoo for me, bro. He started doing all of my tattoos after that because he killed it. I never had a problem with him, and like the work was on point. So if these developers get together and they end up going against these big publishers or whatever, you got to remember they're the ones making it. So if they end up taking their group and saying like, look, we want the actual gamers to, if y'all support us, we will give you the game that y'all want, and not the game that we're being told that we need to make. Not include all of these messages and this bullshit that y'all don't want. We can make the game that y'all want us to make. It's them making it anyway. So I'm cool with that.
No, I definitely hear you, but you got to remember the publishers actually front them and pay them the money, right?
I'm between because
That's
I crowdfunded Star Citizen, and that game still hasn't came out, and it's still constantly involved. I'm like, I wanted this game like 4 years ago, and I'm like, they've still got my like $60, $70, $80 that I invested in pledged the site, and the game still hasn't came out. So now I'm like, maybe I do, even though I do want the content from the original developers and stuff like that TK just said, but I do feel like the publisher does help maintain stability in the life cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed people and they said, like when I interviewed the people for Dawn of the Monsters, they said, listen, the publisher they work with is great. They said they couldn't have did what they did. Even Stadia does, when they was doing their, I forgot what they call it, when they was, the Stadia game, whatever it's called. And one developer said, listen, our game was literally not going to have a voice acting. Our game was just words, and Stadia added that extra money, funded them, and they was able to hire actors. So the publishers help a game go from, I'm not saying thinking small, but a publisher help a game budget become higher. Like that, you have to, like, and like Host just said, right? A lot of people, like, that dude Evan, he was a cool dude. He let me interview him. I ain't crowdfund that. I ain't put no money on that. A lot of people are like, hell no. Because then you get somebody like Holtz that put his money 4 years ago and never got it. But the publishers will put that money out first, and then you go. So I get both sides, but it's, sorry to say this, it's small thinking. Like, you're going to be in the minor leagues or just the indie game if you want the people to crowdfund your games, because now you're not going to be able to, like, again, you could hit this level. Hey, maybe the game might be what you want it to be, but they always got this imaginary, what if it could be this? The publisher allow your game to be bigger than what you intended it to be, and just hopefully the people like it at that point. But I mean, it is what it is.
See, I would support crowdfunding if there was small increments of money. So if it was like stages of the game, so like $5 for chapter 1, $5 for chapter 2, I couldn't invest the whole 70 anymore, and then the development just goes bust, or they lack, or it evolves past the scope. So I'd like small investments to get something.
No, I think it would need to be something set in place to guarantee, like, to pretty much make it so, if this game don't come out by this certain, like, pretty much, if you get what I'm saying, you will get refunded your money back or something like that.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen. That's not what crowd. You ain't getting your money back.
I'm this husband and wife, could you, that says, we developed the game for 3 years and now you want millions back, and they're like,
no, it's not happening. It's not happening.
No, I mean, shit. If you have, listen, not everything has to be crazy big, though. That's the that's the thing. Like I don't really give a fuck about this whole AAA thing. Like, honestly, most AAA games have been disappointing. Like, you just had. Now, I'm not trying to say Callisto Protocol is, because I haven't played it, but. Like, it seems like
the buzz. Like, I woke up the next day, I was like, whoa, what did they talk? No, I seen, it was bad because I seen Doc Video first. So I woke up to Doc Video and he was ranting about Callisto Protocol, and I was like, oh, it's not doing good? Because that's the image I got. And I started looking into it. I'm like, oh, it's stuttering, blah. Well, a lot of stuff was on PC. But yeah, it got a bad buzz.
I was saying last show about developers not really optimizing for like the better equipment and stuff like that, and you said it was a me problem. A lot of people actually bought Callisto Protocol and it wasn't work on their brand new 4000 series, and the whole PC platform just went, why do we have the best tech and everything and we're getting the shittest experience? And that, I think PC do help the industry reflect on a game's true quality, and if it fails on PC, then it's got to be well, it must be crap everywhere else. I know PlayStation put a little bit extra love in it, runs a little bit better, but I was shocked to actually hear this game
right on PC
flop so hard on PC.
I don't know, Holtz. My thing is, reason why I was a console gamer, growing up, I remember that PC would always get some kind of bad ports. Like, yeah, you could make a game look better, but I'd be like, man, you always heard the like craziest story on the PC version. I'd be like, man, but
Cowboy, can I touch on Room comment real quick? He
yeah,
said
definitely, yeah.
about the Halo 5. So yeah, Halo 5 is my favorite Halo online, right? I feel like Halo 5 got a lot of bad media attention. One, because around that time Xbox could do no right. Like everything Xbox was bad. But also Halo 5 is not on PC. So you have what I'm starting to see is people would tear a game down for different things, right? So right now, I'm not going to say that Callisto Protocol is a bad game because it don't look like a bad game to me. Right
Yeah,
now,
not to me.
I do get that it's a lot of PC people who can barely play the game. So maybe that is part of the reason why more hate is coming on this game. I mean, it could be bad gameplay. I don't know. I didn't play it. I don't like to be that person who like legit straight bash a game to that point. Like I might make a joke, but I don't want to like bash a game and destroy that game because people actually worked on that game. But I do see that there's times when a game can be fine on other places, but if it's not working right on PC or if it's not on PC, it gets a lot of hate. So Halo 5 is one of those ones that I can say is not on PC. Now I played every Halo. And Halo 4 and Halo Reach are my favorite campaign Halos, right? Halo 4 is my favorite one with Master Chief. He had more character in that one and stuff like that, and they touched more on him and Cortana relationship. I love Halo 4 for the campaign. Halo 5 multiplayer. Here's the thing. This is why I say gamers are weird. If you type in probably like Halo Infinite right now, there are people praising Halo 5 right now and talking about stuff that was in Halo 5 that's not in Halo Infinite. But you go back 7 years ago, that stuff wasn't good enough for them then. You get like if you kind of get what I'm saying, it's weird. This is why I say I play what I want to play. I don't care if it's on PlayStation. I got a PlayStation game called Valkyrie Elysium that people made fun of that game. I still enjoyed it. So it's not like it's this K9 just gonna talk about anything that's Xbox or whatever and defend it.
Yeah, I know that.
There's a bunch of Xbox games that I don't mess with.
TK, I feel it's the same when you explain like the Star Wars, the prequels. Years ago, everyone hated Star Wars, the prequels, because they compared it to the original franchise. Fast forward over the years, everyone's like, oh, I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. I remember the prequels. I remember all. And then they're like, it's good enough for us now because over the years we've seen what was worse, what came worse after the prequels. So people are like, oh yeah, the prequels were really good now, and the sales are reflecting it and the shows are reflecting it. But if you go back 20 years ago, it was like, oh hell no, it's just people's mindset is evolving and changing all the time.
Yeah, but see, that's what I hate what that can do to a game now, right? Halo, like for me, like I still can play Halo 5 over Halo Infinite if I want to. Now I still enjoyed the hell out of Halo Infinite. I still like Halo Infinite, but Halo 5, bro, the fact that you could do like those executions and stuff like that, like they got the Spark in charge and all of that stuff. Like for people who like for Rune, he's on PC. I mean, bro, get a Series S, bro, and play Halo 5, bro.
TK,
Halo 5.
I think the problem with PC gamers is that they were so used to having the best experience, and then the game got ported to console. But now, because consoles architectures sort of evolved and the masses have got it more, I think now what's happening is developers are putting more time and love in consoles and then porting the game to PC. So it's making PC gamers feel like the second-class gamers. And their infrastructure's falling apart. I think that's what they don't like. They don't like the idea is their expensive equipment is getting there's not much love as a console, and they're getting crappy ports because of it. I feel that's what they're all complaining about.
said TK if the Series S had a dis. Oh, okay. No, I get what. Oh, okay. I get what he was trying to say. Now he's saying because I like Halo 5 and it plays different from the other Halos. That's not them sticking with the core fan base. But technically they was. If you so it wasn't the Halo 5 it wasn't necessarily Halo 5 camp like online that the fan base hated.
Yeah.
Most people didn't like the campaign.
Do you
in
know what,
Halo
TK? What I hated about, and this is what I hate in today's TV and gaming now. Halo 5 released a trailer where it looked like Team Red was going after Team Blue.
Yes.
And it looks so epic. It says in that
advertising like a motherfucker.
The marketing threw us off. And then when we played the game, it was like, what happened to this big, huge hype train with Master Chief versus Team Red? And it wasn't there. And that's when I started realizing the industry's doing bait and switches to gamers now, which what happened in The Last of Us 2 and stuff like that. And I started feeling you can't do that. You can't hype us up of a story narrative. And then when we get the campaign that's got nothing of that in, I feel that's mistrustful.
Yeah, it was barely any Master Chief. It was like barely any Master Chief in that. Like, and I was like, I don't like the campaign like that. Like, I think it's a pretty game or whatever. It's not like it's horrible, but it's not master. It's not the Halo that I expected. But they actually so Halo 4 online got a lot of hate because they was pretty much they had loadouts and people didn't like the fact that it was similar to Call of Duty. So in Halo 5 they switched back. So the online was actually more so of what people wanted than the campaign.
Let me ask you this, K9, as a Halo fan since day one, do you actually feel, right? And like as a gamer playing, do you feel Halo was different after Bungie left?
No. Like I like 343. I'm actually more disappointed in how I don't blame Halo Infinite State right now on 343. This is Xbox. This is Xbox telling them to release this game like this, hold this content. I played Halo 4 and I know all the stuff that game had to offer, and I played Halo 5 and I know all of the stuff that game had to offer. I know how they did the gear. I know how you was able to customize. I know what 343 can do. Halo Infinite, the gameplay is still amazing. Like the gameplay, I love it. Like I love the gameplay. It's bare bones with certain things. And mind you, I'm not this person who try everything. Like even, I mean, it was some things with Halo 4 that I never touched. There was some things with Halo 5 that I never touched. But there was always a lot that you can do. Like with those games. I was mad at Halo Infinite that they just didn't even add something where you can pretty much just turn off crossplay with PC. I was like, damn, like can y'all just add the button to turn off crossplay with PC and launch with no ranked slayer? This was stuff that I'm like, yo, this is not 343, because all of 343 past games, they made sure all of this stuff was already included. This is Xbox saying like, listen, this is a live service game now, so we got to drip feed them and stuff like that. So I don't like how they handled Halo Infinite, but I know what 343 can actually do. So
that's dope. Want to say what's up? The Purple is in the building, and also X True is in the building. Go ahead.
It's sad for me these days since Modern Warfare 2, the old Modern Warfare 2, that I've not played a shooter now that's like Call of Duty. Because in my days, I was always talking about Halo or Resistance and Killzone or Spec Ops: The Line or what I'd mentioned, Order 1886. And I feel like all them games had like these great mechanics, but because it couldn't match to Call of Duty's marketing, they sort of failed. And that's what Cowboy was trying to say before, that they had to get on the bandwagon and follow these traits, because if not, they're never going to get the mass money like Call of Duty. And that's where I'm biased, because in the end, I don't want my Halo to be Call of Duty. I don't want any of my shooters to be like Call of Duty. So I feel like I'm always complaining how these directions in my franchises are going, should I say.
Well, I think Halo is big enough to be Halo. That's the cool thing, right? Halo's big enough, but I see the creativity of certain companies wanting to try. Like, listen, as big as Call of Duty is, don't forget, Call of Duty tried to be Destiny at one point. Remember, Advanced Warfare? They was like had super abilities and all that. I was like, what the hell? So at the end of the day,
You tried to be Titanfall.
that date. Yeah, so I mean, I get that they get a chance to say, you know what, let's try something that's popular and see if it sticks. Now, I think what K9 is saying that's important. You might do that and kill your game, but I feel like it's the risk versus the reward. If it blows up and you double what you had, you got lucky.
You can do spin-offs.
Was it Infinite Warfare, the futuristic one?
Yeah, Advanced Warfare. Yeah,
I love that one, but the fans hated it. So me and TK, like, we got the same style of game, and like, no wonder TK's like, don't worry about everyone else, bring the game to me.
Yeah. I mean, I was a Destiny fan, so I was cool with them doing all this crazy stuff. Like, they literally had the Titan jump in the air and punch the ground. I was like, bro, that's a Destiny special. But hey.
Look, like a prime example for me, I'm not a crazy big Final Fantasy person, right? The only Final Fantasy I mess with for real is the Lightning series, right? And I remember when I first played the Lightning, Final Fantasy Lightning, I loved it, right? And when I would tell my friends, I was like, yo, yeah, bro, like, yo, I really like that. They would look at me with disgust. And they're like, yo, that ain't no damn Final Fantasy game.
Lightning, Final Fantasy 13, Part 1, 2, and 3 were great games. They were great Final Fantasies, great RPGs. But because in people's mindset, they just came from the idea of Final Fantasy 10. I didn't like 12, but Final Fantasy 10, 9, 8, 7.
12 was the one with the girls, right?
No, that was Final Fantasy 10 Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 too.
And in their mindset, they hated the game because it couldn't compare. So to me, I believed it was a great RPG, great storyline, great mechanics and everything, but people couldn't get used to it. But Final Fantasies are meant to be a standalone series, stories from like the number system, should I say.
Right.
And I'm like you, if I say Final Fantasy 13 was a great game, they go, no, because they're comparing it to one of the greatest Final Fantasies, like 7. Right. And in the end, it's like, that's not fair. You can still admit it's a great series, but the disgust that they look at you at, it's like you just named the crappiest game.
Yeah, like I just named the crappiest game. But look, Hoss, I remember telling my boy, I said, well, look, man, look, I'm sorry that I like it. I hope that y'all get y'all Final Fantasy series back how you want it to be. But now you fast forward to Final Fantasy now, and people, they actually praise the Lightning series, right? They're praising the Lightning series, and now Final Fantasy then turned into a hack and slash.
Well, see, that's the point. With 13, they didn't like the action turn-based system because they'd always liked the sort of weight system.
Yeah.
And now look at games, hack and slash, it's all the action now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's what I'm talking about. Like, they are trying to follow what's popular. Again, I'll say it till I die. Video games is just a popularity contest, and that's all it is, So it's like, oh, who likes the most, that's what we want to do. And that just doesn't work all the time for the individual gamer, because as much people don't like something, there's a lot of people who do like it. So it just kind of sucks for you as the individual gamer. Like, for instance, I think the God of War 3 was so epic, right? And when everybody want to remake something, like, bro, you want to remake something, which I don't really care about these remakes. I feel like spend more time bringing a part 2 or part 3 or part 4. But if you're going to remake something, can I get God of War 3? Right? But I get that some people may like the new stuff and they want only that. Like, people are like, I want a Atreus only game. I'm like, what? But hey, listen, if people want that much,
that's where that's going to. That's where that series
that would be
going.
Crazy.
But look, man, I got to get ready for the podcast.
Hey, tell them where they can find you, man. I'm gonna drop your link for your thing in here because I didn't even know you was popping in. But that's dope. I love when you do it, man.
Once I saw that graph up there, I was like, man, let me take that off. Take that.
Well, hold on. Let me read it though. Hold up, wait. So all right. So does things look bad for Microsoft Xbox? 21% said yes, they are doomed. 46% said no, they are looking good for 2023. 8% says Game Pass is all they need. And 25% says I don't care about Xbox. So look, 46% said nope, 2023 is going to be on and popping.
All right, and look, and that's what's up. But I mean, our Xbox dropped the ball today, though. I already got on Xbox today.
Yo, man.
But look, hey, I just want to point out one more thing with your list. 2013, that Mario 3D World, that was the Wii U, right? Nobody got the Wii U. Bayonetta 2, that was the Wii U. Nobody got the Wii U. And Mario Maker, that was also Wii U. Nobody got that neither, right? And the funny thing is, Super Smash Brothers right there in 2019 was pretty much the same Smash Brothers that they had on the Wii U. But trust me, nobody supported that console. So if gamers was really into the games like they claim, their asses would have had a Wii U. But yeah, I'm gonna catch
Yeah, nah, you ain't catch me with a
I'm gonna
Wii U.
catch y'all later, bro.
All right, K9. Hey guys, here's K9's his channel right here, man. Check him out. You about what time is your thing going? You about to go at 9, right?
Bro, you know we go 9-ish.
Okay, all right. Well, well, you know I'm gonna stop by there, and I'll be starting trouble. Just so you know.
But it seemed like Holtz was about to say something though. So
go ahead, Holtz.
Cowboy, can we get Doc Doc's comment about my monitor?
Oh wow. Okay. Let me put this up though for K9. All right, later, K9. Thanks for jumping in, brother.
No problem.
All right, later. All right, guys. Here's K9 channel. Check him out. Good dude, man. Good dude. Like I said, I got to meet him in person. Great stuff. All right, so is it this one right here, Holtz? Let me see.
The one he mentioned about my monitor that he's laughing at.
Oh, Cowboy remind Holtz about his expensive his monitor they can really use. That just popped in my head.
Do you know what?
Oh man,
it might have been funny, right? It might have been funny literally a week ago, 10 days ago when it was, but since the games that came out, and when Cowboy saying it was a me problem, the developers shouldn't support it.
Right.
I posted in Discord, did I not, Cowboy? Need for Speed Unbound, Gotham Knights, and FIFA 23, and I put all the latest games that just came out literally this last few weeks, and they all support my monitor. So I was like, oh, finally, now I'm getting my money's worth, and they look absolutely gorgeous. But I never thinking to myself, wow, I was just dissing this thing literally a week ago, and here's the fruition, here's the rewards. So now I feel like I'm getting the glorious experience that no one else is getting that. So in the end, even though we were all laughing, I feel like, who's got the last laugh?
Yeah. Listen, you know what's cool? Is one thing. Technology is going to get better. So you future-proof yourself by having a really good monitor. So your issue was your monitor was just a step ahead. But technology is going to get better, and then more games. Because think about it, there are going to be games that you love that probably will never be on par with your monitor. But in the future, there are going to be more games that will be on par with your monitor, and you might have to say, "Man, this one game was my favorite game in 2020, but it never caught up to my monitor."
What was annoying me is that these companies, these developers, has to certify themselves through Steam. So in their certification system, they should have told me it would have been compatible with the 32.9 aspect ratio, and I have to wait until day one till that game comes out until I actually see that it's verified. So when I actually seen Need for Speed Unbound or Gotham Knights and that be supported, I went, wow, this is where I want to play. But I was so close to buy somewhere else, and that's where I'm feeling. Steam PC, please stop leaving me in the dark with the needed specifications that they're supporting, because in the end, due to past games, I'm feeling that I'm too advanced. But now it just looks up that my favourite developers now are supporting it. So in the end, where we were laughing and going, yeah, those small bars, now the experience is there. But I need the marketing to push that forward. Where am I still a niche, or is this where gaming is going to go forward?
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, right, Cowboy. You've seen him. I haven't paid you for this.
For real, it's real. You gotta be in it. You gotta be in the Discord, man. I'm gonna end the poll on that Xbox thing. So again, does this look bad for Microsoft Xbox? And it's $70 games. Yes, they are doomed, 21%. No, they are looking good for 2023, 46%. Game Pass is all they need, 8%. And I don't care about Xbox is 25%. So we could close that poll right there. Holtz, the cool thing is you and me, we discuss food, right? And one of the things I want to talk about, we was in the chat and people brought up, right, different things. But favorite restaurant. So I know I live in the USA, you live in the UK. What's your favorite restaurant, Holtz? Wait. Let me do this right, Holtz. Let me do this right. My bad. Hold up. Let me do it right.
topic switch.
All right, I love a good gimmick, and I got to do my own gimmick. So, guys, we're switching the topic. It was really cool. K9 jumped in there. You couldn't have a better person to join an Xbox conversation than K9. So, now, Holtz and I, we're going to discuss what's your favorite restaurant. So, in the Discord today, that's what someone asked. Hey, could you discuss what's your favorite restaurants? And you know what? Let's do it. So, I'm bringing back on Holtz, my guy, your guy, the accent guy. None other than Holtz. Give it up. And it's very late where he's at, but he's still hanging in there. So, Holtz, dude, what is your favorite restaurants, man?
Are we talking about like an established franchise, or are we talking about a type of restaurant? Like what they serve?
I think if you say to yourself, okay, I'll go first then, and maybe you'll get an idea. My favorite restaurant is called Budokan. Because it's my taste buds. I love my family's from Jamaica, so I grew up eating spicy stuff and eating stuff that's this crazy flavor, right? So Budokan is an Asian fusion, actually, right? It's more like I love rice, right? And I love their crab fried rice. You got to get the crab fried rice, right? And they bring different type of syrup, not syrups, but sauces, and you can mix them, whatever. But I don't like meat that much, but they make what's called Asian barbecue pork, really thin slices of this meat, super tender, but like this crazy flavor. So me, if you said, what's your favorite restaurant? For many years, Budokan is my favorite restaurant. And mind you, it was over an hour away, and I would drive over an hour away to go to Budokan because that was my place. Now they do got one actually closer, and they closed down my favorite one, but they got one in Philly, which is a little closer to me. But I just like the premium one that was in Atlantic City. But so
to me, I'll go with franchise because Rooms just made me laugh. But technically speaking, Nando's is one of my favorite restaurants because it's one of them restaurants where you can go in and it's affordable, but it looks fancy. Right, and it's a chicken restaurant, right, and they do chicken legs, and they've got like 6 levels of heat for marinating this chicken.
Ooh, okay.
And in the end, this chicken is getting served with whatever sides you want. So it gets served with you got like a salad with grains and beans, and you got piri piri chips, or you get like a cold sauce special, and you sit down in these big booths, and it's like refillable Coke. And it's more like a family-oriented restaurant, but it's sort of a go-to place when you go and take a date and you just went to cinema and you just wanted to go to this restaurant.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just half in between. But I always got the season that I usually get is a piri piri sauce, so I always go for like a mild piri piri, which piri piri is like this Portuguese, African-inspired chili sauce, and I think that's the level of spice that I just love marinating or dipping my food in. So I think like it's a great choice to actually stuff myself in. I mean that's from a franchise, but I've got so many lovely restaurants around my area that I just love all different cultures of food. So in the end, one day, if I fancy a Greek, I'll go to a Greek, and if I fancy a Chinese, Indian, I go to these Pacific. But my mood changes all the time, that I can't pick one. So one day I feel like, oh, do you know what? That steak was gorgeous, and but always great experiences. Now, I've never been to a luxury place. These are just like great places where you can get a good dish for a set price, and the drinks are all nice. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not the creme de la creme, so I'm just enjoying what's in my area, whatever time.
Yeah,
I fancy something. I wouldn't go out my way because I can't drive. You would never see me say I'm going an hour down the road to this restaurant because it's so good. My brain is like, because there's so many select restaurants, I'll just say, do I fancy Indian? Do I fancy Chinese? It is, and that's the way I pick.
Okay.
But
if
it was a franchise that I could sit there and say, would you want some friendly fun, family fun, or whatever? Nando's.
Okay, cool.
It's like so British, it's unbelievable.
And Mr. Urban and I forgot whose topic was. I know one of the topics was yours, Mister, because the other one is what TV shows you recommend. So I guess that was both of his topics. But yeah, Nando's it is. Look at that. All right, cool. So what do you like to get though at Nando's?
So Nando's, I always go for, oh my God, right. So Nando's is a chicken place, but it's not the thing that I drool over. They do actually a lovely avocado grain salad. And it's drizzled in like some like olive oil chili. So every time I go there, I do get my chicken, but I get this big fat bowl of avocado salad. I'll send you a picture, and it's just so great just to scoop loads and loads, and then have like this piri coleslaw to go with it, and I just blob it on. But everyone always goes like for the default French fries and stuff like that, a jack potato, and I'm like, nah. If you ever go, you have to get that.
That's what's up. That sounds good, man. And I never been to UK, but my mom went many a times. As you know, my stepdad lives in family lives in Birmingham.
Well, Runes just said he went to Nando's and he enjoyed it. So it's nice. Everywhere you see like a cinema complex, you'll see a Nando's. So that's the idea of like it's sort of like the next step up from KFC, but not on too fancy. It's like
he said Cracker Barrel. I will say this, man. Cracker Barrel has this cheesecake stuffed pancake. That's to die for. So I have went there a bunch of times this summer. So he's not lying, but that's not my favorite place. But yeah,
I mean, someone mentioned there in like Chinese and stuff like that. Mr. A, well, I love going to restaurants getting Vietnamese spring rolls. Oh my god, this is so. But that's just like snack food. So if I wanted some dim sums and some.
Okay.
But that said, food as a whole just makes me want to talk about it. So there's just too much to
So
digest, should I say?
Mr. Irwin, my favorite seafood restaurant is Joe's Crab Shack. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite places. That's my favorite place to get crab. American restaurant is Texas Corral. I wonder if that's like Texas Roadhouse for me. Buffet used to be Ponderosa, then switched to Golden Corral. Yeah, see, we have a Golden Corral, and Golden Corral is pretty good.
Now, we're both different. I mean, I love meat. The more meat, the better on my plate.
Okay. Well, how do you like it done?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it was like steak, I like mine medium rare. If it was steak, but I'm just saying any meat, barbecue meat or grilled or whatever. I love meat. Okay. I know you're not really a meat eater, but to me, I sort of stay away from seafood as much as possible. Okay. And I know where you're the opposite.
Holtz. You don't like fried shrimp, Holtz?
I've never tried fried shrimp. I've had shrimp, I've had octopus and stuff like that, but I've never actually went out to like a proper fish eatery and ate all these like buckets of crabs or buckets of shrimp and stuff like that. I've never had like seafood salads or whatever. I've never had them marinades to season it up.
Holtz, so if I ever make it big, brother, and I ever make money, I want to send you tickets to come visit me, man, and we're gonna just go.
Some fish buckets.
Now I'm not a big fish guy either, but I like fish. But I like fresh fish, and I do like tilapia, which isn't kind of fresh fish. But I don't like fish that has the fishy taste. I say
that, but what a lot of people say is the fishy fish smell on fish is because it's oxidized, it's been left out, so it's not as fresh. They say if you get proper fresh fish, you don't get that fishy smell or taste.
Not even the smell. The taste is my thing. The taste is when like salmon. Usually I taste salmon. Now I don't like salmon. Even my grandma didn't like her salmon, but 2 times I liked salmon was at a wedding, and it was a high class wedding. So they, like you said, they probably really did it right.
Once you dress it up perfect, it is amazing. Like a lot of people say prawn is similar to shrimp. So at Christmas, I have a king prawn cocktail, and it's dressed like this lovely seafood brandy sauce with a bit of lemon on top with some nice salad. And every starter before Christmas dinner, it's one of them things where you go, oh my god, and you just keep on scooping this cocktail glass that you just want more. So if it's stuff like that, I would eat it, but my mind doesn't go. Every time someone goes, do you want to go to a fish restaurant? My mind doesn't default to that.
Okay.
Sort of experience, but every time I see your videos, just look so great that I'm like, I'll definitely have to try that.
Oh yeah, man. I know some spots. Actually, I went. Holtz, I'll tell you this. I got a video coming. Yesterday, we ate at Sonic because my wife we was like, what should we eat? Right now, Sonic makes not bad tasting food, but bad for you food. Like everything is. Like, okay, this is what we had yesterday, Holtz. They had Alexa, be quiet. They had what caught Sandy's attention. They had, you ready for this, Holtz? They had a grilled cheese burger. I was like, what the hell is that? So we said, well, let's check it out. It was so you know when you do grilled cheese, right? So it was the bread and cheese grilled and burger in the middle. It was 2 patties, and I don't like that much meat, so two was too much for me. But it was 2 patties in the middle. I was like, this is so strange. So imagine having a hamburger meat, but with grilled cheese on top of it. And then they had, you ready for this, Holtz? They had broccoli and cheese tater bites. So it was like you know, like you like tater tots, but with broccoli and cheese in the middle. I was like, oh, that was interesting.
Yeah. I'll have the tater tots. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I can't eat certain burgers. I mean, it's got to be proper grounded beef. So when it's more if it's more like a fast food McDonald's pate or a Burger King, I can't touch them burgers. They just don't stomach. But if it's a proper big, huge, like half a pound pure beef minced, I eat it. But it's just something about that I can't have that idea of fast food burgers.
Oh yeah. So wait, let me ask you this: do you guys have an Olive Garden there?
I think we're starting to get Olive Gardens.
Okay.
I don't think we have. I can remember seeing one in London, but I don't think they're actually everywhere. Should I say? Okay.
I'm not a big Olive Garden. I feel like it's more Italian like stuff. They have really good salads, like that. You know, the French dressing and stuff like that. But Italian dressing, which is really good. But my favorite dressing now is lime vinaigrette. I always get at On the Border. Oh man,
I haven't got a clue about the dipping sauce. Every time I see like dipping sauces, I just see like a vinaigrette, a soy one, and something else, and I just dip me salt, and I go, what's that?
I mean like on your salad, you know, like salad dressing.
But don't you have order like fresh hot bread and you dip it in?
Yep.
Sticks.
Yep.
Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah, and Rune, I do love fried fish. But what is it? Grilled and grilled fish. When we go to this place called a Big Fish Grill, you could get fried. So what I would do is get fried, and my wife would get the grilled, and then we would cut it in half and share. And it's pretty good. Let's see. I don't have got Sonic in my area. Okay, yeah, it's one right down the street for me. But Wendy's is guilty pleasure. Yeah, Wendy's. You guys got Wendy's, Holtz?
Wendy's, no.
Okay. Wendy's still have a 50-piece chicken nugget for $9.99. That is crazy.
I'm actually thinking, did we have Wendy's years ago before McDonald's became a huge thing? Because I remember going to a burger joint, and it did start with W, but
okay.
I'm not actually thinking. But you see, I can't eat all the fast foods much these days because what's happening with the Russians and Ukrainians, sort of oil has become vegetarian oils became very restricted, so they make it cooking everything in like rapeseed canola oil. So every time I eat every time I eat something that's soaked in canola oil or stuff like that, deep fried in it, I just don't agree. It doesn't agree with me. So I know a lot of American restaurants, they actually use canola oil, so I have to be very careful what it's deep frying in.
Oh wow. So let's do this. So anything else you want to add on the food? Let's finish this thing off with the last and final topic. But is there anything else you want to add, Holtz?
I'm a snob when it comes to food, right? Because every time I see the menu, I'll always default to the price. Not that I don't want to have the price. Sometimes I just look at it, and sometimes the description is not description enough to justify the price. And sometimes I order something, and I'll be like, yeah, this pizza, yeah, better be nice. And then when it comes, it's the most thinnest pizza you'd ever see, and I look at it and like, that's small, but it's made with the most freshest, delicious ingredients, and it's like, what's that? Fresh tomato puree, goat's cheese, proper, and then I have a bite and I go, oh my god, why was I a snob before I looked at the menu? Oh wow. Because in the end, I'm so used to seeing like Pizza Hut, like that kind of food where it's just too much glutton on the table. But now I actually look at, like I said, a snob, but when it comes to the table, you've got like a nice little dipping sauce, fresh bread, and a little bit of everything. I usually shut my mouth afterwards. So when the waiter comes, they go, how was it? Perfect. But like I said,
and a moment ago, you was like, what is this?
Then the first time,
that's great.
Yeah, I'm not trying that. So I have to learn to stop and trust the menu, should I say.
Yeah, but at least you still eat it, though. Some people will be like, take this back.
No, in the end, there's nothing wrong with the food. It's just what I'm trying to say. When you sometimes you got
what you read.
you got the price in your head, and you go, "Wow, $40 for that," and it's only just saying chicken, garlic, and something else, and you're like, "Wow." And when it comes, you feel, oh, you should have described it better in the menu, because I was just thinking, a fillet of chicken with a bit of garlic on it. You didn't explain how it was supposed to be dressed and looked and presented, and so.
Yeah. Now, do you guys have diners?
We've got like American diners, like American style diners in like high streets, but I don't really go in there for like the sort of malted milkshakes, burgers, and hot dogs. I usually go towards like the burritos or tacos and stuff like that. Other world diners than the idea, because I know what a hamburger and a hot dog is like, so I don't default to them, should I say. And because I've been to American diners in America, it's not one of them things where I'll default their coffee and apple pie or pumpkin pie is the best ever. So that's why I don't. Because I feel like from a Western approach, we've got similar in food. So I always just go somewhere else where I know that I couldn't get. So Britain's is very inspired by, we cultivated certain dishes like Chinese dishes, even though they're called Chinese, the more British infused or Indian curries are more designed for English people. So even though people think it's a traditional Indian curry, it's not. So in the end, that's where I usually go to. World spices, but sort of cultivated for English dining, should I say.
That's interesting. All right, so host, let's round this thing off. Last thing, so I know you and I, we both like shows, so we're going to get into it. So let's.
Topic switch.
So I want to say Mr. Urban World was also the person that came up with TV show recommendations. And if I'm wrong, let me know. So bring it back on. To finish thing off is my guy, your guy, the accent guy, none other than Holtz. And Holtz, so, man, what are you watching these days, man? What shows are you watching?
So I've just finished the Disney show Andor, which is sort of the rebellion, the start of the rebellion idea in the sort of Star Wars universe, should I say. And, that was, great if you're sort of in the Star Wars lore. It wouldn't say something that I would actually say it's a big, huge recommendation, but it's something that I would recommend if you sort of follow the Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett and stuff like that. Another one that I've been watching is Wednesday, The Addams Family from Netflix. So once again, if you like all these sort of Hollywood-esque monster TV shows, then it's definitely for you. To me, it's okay for what it is. I'm not one of these people that where I'm hyping up really, really good, because it's not what I expect from a Tim Burton movie. But I can actually see where Netflix is trying to captivate a new audience, should I say. So a lot of my family members, a lot of my sister-in-laws, they love it. So I can see the appeal. But to me, it's like I'm joining what everyone else is talking about. But for me, it's like, I'll just go along with it. But I know Mr. World mentions it. I love Titans. I'm a big, huge DC fan. So I've been watching that as well.
So check this out, Holtz. So my wife, she just made me this, but yes, it is pizza. But here's the thing: my boss kids was selling, like, they do like a little raffle for school, and so I bought it, and I was like, okay, I was looking through the thing, what should I get? And I ordered the pizza. So I'm about to try this. It's supposed to be like, I don't know if it's considered gourmet pizza, but it was $31 for the kit. And then you make it in the oven, right? So we'll check it out. So anyway, so Mr. Urban World, let me just pull up his thing, Holtz. He said, let me see, but he definitely said, I'm 100% ordering food after the stream. He said TV shows: Alice in Borderland Season 2, Superstore, and Titans. Let me see. He said, finished The Witcher. The Watcher, The Devil's Hour recently. The Devil's Hour. Is that one show, The Watcher, The Devil's Hour? Or
I'm pretty sure The Devil Hour. I think I started that on Amazon. I think the first 20 minutes I wasn't really into it, should I say?
Mm-hmm.
But it's
best TV show ever is Freaks and Geeks.
Freaks
Never
and
heard of it.
Geeks. I mean, I watched that Cabinet of Mysteries. I think it's called Cabinet of Mysteries on Netflix, and a few of them episodes was really good, but a lot of them were hit and miss. So in the end, from episode point, some of them are great. From a series, it's average.
So here's my thing, Holtz. So we just finished. Man, we've been going through some shows. We just finished. I'm trying to think before we. So we got HBO Max, and so but before we had HBO Max, I'm trying to think what we finished. Okay, I can't remember. But so we got HBO Max, right? Thanks to Stadia. I used some of my Stadia stim. Actually, thanks to you, Holtz. You were the one that told me go download the app from your account that has the Stadia on, and that's how you get HBO Max. So thank you, because I was trying to figure out how to pay for it with my Stadia money.
Oof, they got me back in the end. Google did.
Yeah.
I actually pre-ordered the new documentary on David Bowie. Right?
Okay.
And what Google do is they take the money straight away. So what I done was I pre-ordered it with my Stadia refund, and the credit was about to expire anyway. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to pre-order some movies. So I pre-ordered 3 movies at like $20 each, and they took the money. And then what happened was when the credit expired, they sent me an email saying, sorry, your pre-orders couldn't be fulfilled, and because they couldn't refund the credit because it already expired.
Wow.
So they took like $60 of me for pre-ordering and then never. So
wow.
That's karma. Because I took so many Chromecasts off them and $10 day 4 Holtz. We've got you, mate. We're gonna take our $60 back.
Oh, The Watcher and Devil's Hour on Amazon. All right, let me see. Cowboy really needs to watch. I will. I watched that episode. When you watch that episode, I want you to watch. Let me see. HBO Max. They got the Harry Potter movies. I've seen them all though. Let me see. How's the pizza? So the pizzas, it's okay. What's up, Sierra? So let me see. Oh, host, you never got your credit back. So we just finished Peacemaker, right? So that was I wasn't that big into that Suicide Squad, so it was okay. It's John Cena. I'm a fan of John Cena. I think he did a great job. It was funny as hell. So it's all right. Then we finished Euphoria. I feel like I should have been doing drugs to watch that. It's just about kids getting high. I don't even know why I ended up watching that, but my wife went to watch it. I left feeling like there was no big payoff, no nothing. And now we're watching Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. And so far, I'm in 2 episodes, and it's pretty good. This is more my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I tried a TV series called A Christmas Mood. I tried to watch the Santa Clauses on Disney, and I just feel like I just couldn't connect. I love the movie in the 90s, and I still believe in the spirit of Christmas, and I still speak highly about this movie, but I just feel like the TV series just didn't captivate me in a sort of Christmas way, even though it is Christmas. So I just felt like, maybe it's too much. Maybe the series has moved on to like the next generation of people,
right? And
I'm stuck talking about the 90s movies, which I feel is happening more and more, should I say, on a lot.
Oh yeah, you're having more, like you flash back to what you thought was really good. Holtz, here's the question. So we told the people what we're watching, but what the topic was, what do you recommend? So now I wouldn't recommend Peacekeeper unless you were really into DC and into the Suicide Squad. Peacemaker, sorry, I keep messing it up. I wouldn't recommend Euphoria unless you're a drug addict. I'm just saying, or a teenager. But House of Dragon, I just started it. So if you're into Game of Thrones, I mean, I don't know, but what I will recommend, if you could get into Cobra Kai, that was a good show. Even if you wasn't that hardcore into Karate Kid, I think it's still a good show. I definitely would recommend that.
I don't know. There's so many to recommend. Like I said, Cobra Kai is a good one, but you have to like the Karate Kid because in the end, the new seasons followed on characters that was brought back.
They did, but I feel like they threw a flashback. And if you watch from the beginning, it was pretty much about the kids, and the kids wasn't in back in the day. Yeah, so you got to learn these characters, you know.
Yeah, but what's about the new seasons? The new seasons was more about Daniel and Johnny. should I say, more than the kids. The kids sort of took a side step in this because the All Valley was already done. I mean, I'll definitely recommend that, and I'll definitely recommend Titans, but these are, you have to be fan specific, should I say. Just like I just mentioned, there's nothing wrong with Wednesday, and I'm not nitpicking it because it's not characters that I've known from the past. I'm just trying to say the new Tim Burton feel of this direction is totally different from the sort of darker humour that I'm so used to in the past. Even though you'll probably see Wednesday in the same attire and the family's great, I just can't see past the actresses and actresses are playing it. So it's my fault, I guess, but maybe because I've had so much passion in the past watching TV shows from that style. So I feel like, once again, is take everything that I'm saying with a pinch of salt and try it yourself if you've got these subscriptions, because this is what is going to be in the charts and it's well worth a talk. So definitely watch them.
Yeah, a lot of times if something doesn't hit the mark, then it kind of like, ruins it for you because of what you remember in the past.
So I don't want to belittle it and be like the naysayer to these series, should I say? They've got me time, and I don't want to be that person where you go, well, watch episode 4, and you're like, but I've already put 3 hours in. But
yeah, I agree. I will say this though, if you have the time, you could find it. Watch Spartacus, because I thought it was really good.
See, if we're going back in time to Spartacus, I think that was, I would even say Spartacus, even the spin-offs that he mentions on Obi Rose, they're definitely on par of Game of definitely on par with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, man. With action, a lot of action.
Just seeing the fights and it was amazing.
Oh man, it really was.
But I think it's getting very harder to actually, because these TV shows come out of circulation and then you have to join this other subscription that you don't want to sort of cap.
Yeah, to track them down. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like if you just stick to the main HBO Max and Netflix, anything that's in the top 10 charts is good. I mean, the only show that I'm looking forward to and going forward now is The Mandalorian season 3.
Okay. Well, what about The Last of Us? They had a really... So I've been on record of saying I am going to watch it, but I'm bothered by the casting. But the recent trailer looked really good.
Did it get a date?
January something.
Oh, so there you go. So I'll actually be watching The Last of Us before The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's next month. And it's looking pretty good. Let me see.
So with me, as I mentioned on past panels, I sort of save my energy for like the hype of the next game. So in the end, now I'll be laying low. Christmas movies. So watch like Scrooge 1951 just the other day. I'm in that mindset. I'll save all my energy that when The Last of Us and The Mandalorian come out, I'll just be hyped to do it.
Have you ever seen One Piece? Recommend One Piece. The anime?
See, One Piece was one of them franchises that I put on the back burner and then it just fell too far behind. I've just bought some anime movies. I just bought Jujutsu Kaisen Zero and stuff like that to watch. My Hero Academia, Hero Missions. I bought all stuff like that with my Stadia refund. I bought Final Fantasy and stuff like that. So I've got some of them to catch up on, and there's loads of series that I need to catch up on. Bleach, Chainsaw Man, it just loads that. It's just sometimes it gets too overwhelming. Sometimes I'm in a gaming mood, sometimes in an anime mood, sometimes I'm in a TV mood. So
yeah, Miss Irwin recommends From, and I did watch that from his recommendation, and it is really good. He said new unique horror series. I definitely agree. Alice in Borderland, he did recommend that for me, similar to Squid Games, and I did watch that. I will be watching season 2. Cobra Kai is fire. Rune said my new favorite series. Let me see, Cobra Kai, man, I love that. Man, let me see. I want to watch the upcoming blockbuster comedy series. And let me see. Looking forward to The Last of Us. Oh wait, it's already out. What blockbuster comedy series? Let me see. I'll be adding that too to the list. Let me see. And speaking of anime, I'd recommend the new Bleach. It's fire.
See what he's done there.
It's crazy though. Once I finish watching The Last of Us, I don't know what else I want to watch on HBO. So I'll have to take some recommendations, and I'm not watching Titans.
Well, to me, what did I watch? The next one for me in a big, huge thing is Avatar The Way of the Water. I've already booked my tickets for that next week, so I'll be seeing the new Avatar movie. Hopefully, Disney don't kill it too much, should I say, or too much, because it's just been so long since Avatar 1 that I'm starting to think they're going to miss the mark by a mile. And I don't want my cinema experience to be diluted. So that is why at the moment I'm just staying focused, watch Christmas movies, focus on that movie, then catch up over the holidays on all my TV shows.
He said it's a show about Blockbuster. Okay. You know what? I lived a Blockbuster. I don't have any interest in all these shows. And people's like, oh, watch. Like, I feel like I was a kid. I went to Blockbuster. We rent movies and video games, and it closed. I mean, I don't see the fascination and the tie to Blockbusters that some people have.
I never had no fascination with Blockbuster because I was never a renter. So you could go to, like, say, the supermarket, say Walmart, and you could always buy, like, DVDs, like $3, 3 for 10, stuff like that. And that's the mindset I was in. I was always in buying mode, never renting. And when games came out, I was like, I couldn't rent a game for 2 days and send it back. So I was always the idea of, just buy them. And so I was never into that Blockbuster phase.
Got you. Did you see Lord of the Rings on Amazon? I didn't watch it yet, but
yes, I didn't really like it.
I might or might not watch it because I never watched The Hobbits. I watched all of the movies, but then I didn't watch The Hobbits, and I almost feel like maybe I should go back and watch them to kind of get me back into it. I don't know.
A lot of people have said surrounded by like woke media and stuff like that, but that wasn't the problem. I thought it was just too much slow pacing, should I say.
Okay.
I bet the second season, if it ever made one, would be better, but I think the first season's done the damage, should I say.
So that's why I like to say I love Spartacus, right? Because these shows are good when they get slow, but Spartacus always got action. So it never, because it's based around gladiators. So it never ever gets so slow, if that's one good thing. But here we got a question, Holtz. So Rune said, I got a question for you guys. Do you watch shows on a smart TV, Amazon Fire Stick, or Roku stick, Apple TV, or on your phone, laptops, or tablet? So for me, we typically watch our Google, what was it called? Google Chrome TV, whatever the recent Chromecast is. We watch apps off of that. That's on our TV. Now, 2 weeks ago, we went to my wife's mother's house. We watched it on our phone. So if we're not around, we'll just watch an app on our phone because our phone screens are big, the folding phones. What about you, Holtz?
I mean, for me, it's all native apps on the TV. So if I want to have more of a laid-back approach, it's more downstairs on the couch watching it with my twin or something like that. But if it's more sort of my approach, if I want to lay on the bed and watch a TV behind me, it's all native apps. Years ago, I used to Chromecast it from my phone, but now because these native apps, the TVs are being more supportive, there's no need for me to have a Chromecast now because all the TVs have got them built in or supported natively. So if I wanted to go Netflix, Amazon, whatever TV, it's all HBO Max, whatever. There.
Yeah. Also, chat can answer too. Lovecraft Country. Josh's Chloe recommended that show to me a long time ago. So now I got HBO. Maybe I might check it out. Did you ever watch it, Holtz, or hear about it?
No.
Lovecraft Country? Okay.
No.
Mr. Urban said TV 100%. What about you, Rune? Let me see. Second will be AR glasses, not VR, but AR. Okay.
I was gonna buy them AR glasses a few weeks back, but it was locked behind the one that me in chat was talking about, Urban, and it was locked behind a mobile subscription so I bought a SIM card and then I just never bought them. Because when you start seeing more YouTube videos about it and it started having little problems, I'm like, I don't want to be an early adapter with that. So.
Michaela just made me spit out my drink.
And Rune says same as you. He usually watches it on smart TVs and laptops. All right, man. But look, dude, that was a cool show. Talk about interesting. Like, I know my topic was a little weird with the growing and stuff, but it was on my mind, and who better to talk to you guys?
We're going to look back and think, was he having a stroke, the poor sod?
For real, man. I really was like, over the weekend, like, but listen, Sandy, listen. She's looking at me like,
The That's the last time you're going that gym, honey. Since
Yeah, right.
Them weirdos, you're not going there again.
Man. Yeah. What else? Man. So we touched the Xbox thing. How cool was it to have K9 to come on and JD? We had a PlayStation guy, an Xbox guy. Man, we got to talk about food, and I love to talk about food with you, Holtz. And we got to talk about TV shows. So I think this was a cool, good, rounded show. And man, I appreciate it. Holtz, get your sleep because Thursday, the Game 2022 Game Awards is on, baby.
Oh, I really do hope. Like I said, every time a Nintendo wins, I'm going to just for the sake of it, just for the.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I mean, of course, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it won't reflect me because I've played a lot of them. So in the end, I'll come from a non-biased point of view. Of course, I've got a little bit of favourites, I guess, but not only I would call it biased.
Yeah.
So in the end,
you know what? Holtz, we are gonna be on the edge of our seats when they do Game of the Year, because I don't care who wins. Obviously, like you said, bias. I played and beat God of War, so I like it a lot. I did rent Horizon Forbidden West. Not really my cup of tea. Sent it back, but I'll get it again to finish it. Elden Ring, I really like. I was this close to buying it. I didn't play Xenoblade Chronicles 3, so I don't know, but it's Nintendo. I'm sure they nailed it. Stray, like, dude, I thought I was going to play Stray for about 10 minutes. Played it for a few hours. So they all got some good games, and I'm going to be on the edge of my seat, man.
Before I go, I was really upset that this Black Friday, Elden Ring didn't drop to a biting point for me. I feel like it didn't drop in enough, like 50% off for me to actually justify what I know would be a slow learning curve for me. So I was like, damn, 9 months and it still didn't drop to that price. Come on, what's happening? So.
Oh, wow.
It is what it is.
Hey, say can't wait to Thursday. Oh man, it's gonna be epic. Yo, what's up, Jack 27? I'm see Cowboy can't wait to beat Resident Evil 7 in VR. I mean, I already beat Resident Evil 7. I'm not sure I need to do it again, but I feel like that would be the creepiest one if you could do it in VR. I mean,
I don't want to play it in VR. I mean, the whole point of Jack running through walls, chasing you, the experience. Ooh. All that
4K Fire Stick looks great on TV.
All that black goo and all that stuff. I think I'll have a heart.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I got a 4K Fire Stick. I don't know the last time I even used it. And it's hooked up to my 70-inch 4K TV. But I don't even watch TV in the living room anymore.
See, mine's not the 4K experience that I'm interested in. Mine's in more the HDR. So when I see Dolby Vision, which is supported by HBO Max and Netflix, that's the sort of colour range that really excites me. Even in Disney Plus, so I need the HDR standard, not really the 4K.
Rune said Elden Ring dropped to like $35.
Well, probably stick was after the physical disc. I was more looking for when I was looking for it on Black Friday here. I didn't see.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so you never got it, right?
No,
that's right. Yeah,
Elden Ring's the only game of the Game of the Year that I've not played.
Okay. Oh wow!
I've wanted to, but I just thought the difficulty level of learning the mechanics and pushing forward, there was just too many things to play. I mean, I know TK was sitting there saying people playing on easy, but there's a reason. It's not that we can't do it; it's that we're limited in factors. So in the end, I could put hundreds of hours in the game, but I don't want to.
I don't. Yeah, I look at it like I was going to say to him, but I don't need to justify it. But I was thinking when he was saying that, I'm thinking like, well, Holtz and I are on here, and we both love playing on easy. I'm just saying.
There's a reason it caters for that, doesn't it? I mean, the developers know that. It's not because of mechanic. It's because of... I mean, I don't think God of War story mode was as easy as everyone was saying.
I agree. And I played it on easy. Very easy.
This could be a topic in the future. My friend tells me that when I used to play Gears of War with him and Halo in the day, he used to say in his mind there was no difference between normal and hard, so you might as well play on the hardest setting. But that is because you played, you died, you had fun, rinse and repeat until you learned the tactic to progress. So in the end, I've played games on the hardest setting and I agree with them. But in the end, I don't have the time to learn the mechanics and move on. I don't have to, so between hard and normal might be an extra hit, but I don't have time to dodge that extra hit. So that's why I just feel like there can't be much difference between story and normal hard. Maybe to a lot of people they might feel like that, but it's not that much damage taken or damage given, should I say. So I feel like there's just too much to play to actually worry about.
Here's my thing. Gamers always say, oh, I want to do new game plus so I could be overpowered with all my weapons. I'm kind of like, dude, I'd rather play easy from the beginning and don't have to wait to beat the whole game. Now, you're going to be more powerful once you beat the whole game because you're going to have more weapons than me, but I still rather play a game and not struggle through the game, right? Because, again, like you, with time's sake, especially because I rent a lot of stuff. I always said, yeah, physical at Walmart. Ram pump that dropped by $100. Ram pumps. Oh, wow. Let's see. I can hold dial it up any.
I think what's happened is every time I click the mute button on Melon, I think the volumes just messes up from the initial.
Oh, I mean, I heard you the same volume the whole time, so I know you sound great to me the whole time. Let me see. For me, it's not being overpowered, just that new weapons is so fun to use in Ragnarok. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too. I mean, you only got 3, but
I can boast with the best, like The Witcher. I've done The Witcher 200 hours, finished that in the hard settings. I've got Burnout Paradise. I've beat SOCOM. I've beaten Medal of Honors on the harder settings. But like I said, there were times when I was invested in the franchise and I never had nothing else to play. So I feel like I could play the games, and there's nothing wrong with choosing the option. I know a lot of people think difficulty adds to the experience, but I'm like, as long as I get it,
I agree.
The gist of it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. 100%. All right, Mr. Urban Relator. They go by default. All right, cool. All right, well, Holtz, man, listen, this was cool. And once again, you and me closing this thing out as only we could do. Let me see, Cowboys louder than Holtz. Fair enough. But with that being said, Holtz, take us away, man.
And there we go. And now your mama knows.
And now your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon!